What's happening? What's happening? What's good? What's good? How's everyone doing? How art thou? How art thou?
The man charged with murder in a downtown Dallas shooting was in court today. Trying to get his bond. The man charged with murder in a downtown Dallas shooting was in court today, trying to get his bond reduced. Marissa Armas was there for the judge's decision.
A Dallas County courtroom filled with dozens of family members representing both the victim and the suspect.
We will ask that.
Filled with dozens of family members representing both the victim and the suspect.
We will ask.
Representing both the victim and the suspect. Representing both the victim and the suspect.
We will ask.
Yeah, remember this one? Press 1 if you remember this one. This white life didn't matter, man. This white life didn't matter last week. This white life didn't matter. Where's her GoFundMe, man? Where's the GoFundMe for this girl, man? Where's the GoFundMe for this girl? Come on, white people. Y'all gonna have to break some bread, man. We gonna force you white people to break some bread, man. Some serious bread, man. What about her? She died last week. I think it was last week.
The man charged with murder in a downtown Dallas shooting was in court today, trying to get his bond reduced. Marissa Armas was there for the judge's decision.
A Dallas County courtroom filled with dozens of family members representing both the victim and the suspect.
We will ask that you lower the bond.
On Wednesday, 34-year-old Hendrix Finch made his first court appearance for his bond hearing, a judge deciding not to reduce Finch's $500,000 bond.
The evidence presented by both the state and the defense, the writ is denied, the bond remains at $500,000.
Finch is accused of shooting and killing 28-year-old Ashley Long on April 5th. According to an arrest affidavit, Finch told investigators that he shot Long after a man she was with.
Is that prognosis? Is that prognosism? Or is that this dude white, right? This dude is white, right? Is that prognosism or is that just the way he got his face, man? Is that the way he is that the way he got his head tilted? This is a glider, man. Damn shame, man. You see this? Yeah, prognosism on the glider though. I just never seen prognosism on a glider before. Mm. White boys out here killing shit. White boys out here killing shit, man. You got the nerve to talk about black people. He got the nerve to talk about black people when white boys is out here killing shit. Like this one.
A Dallas County courtroom filled with dozens of family members representing both the victim and the suspect.
We will ask that you lower the bond.
On Wednesday, 34-year-old Hendrix Finch made his first court appearance for his bond hearing, a judge deciding not to reduce Finch's $500,000 bond.
The evidence presented by both the state and the defense, the writ is denied. The bond remains at $500,000.
Finch is accused of shooting and killing 28-year-old Ashley Long on April 5th. According to an arrest affidavit, Finch told investigators that he shot Long after a man she was with brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes as they were walking across the street. Surveillance video played in court shows Finch getting out of the car with a gun as the man with Long also pulls out his gun from her purse.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So that's a white boy. Oh, white boy. Yeah, white boy started this. What do you guys think about it, man? The white boy ran his hand across the side of the car while it was passing. What do y'all think about that, man? Because you white, y'all, for real, though. No bullshit, man. White. This ain't gonna be no anti-black channel, man. Y'all white folk, man. When y'all wrong, y'all getting called out, man. What do y'all think, man? Should this white boy, is this white boy culpable? Is this white boy culpable? Is this white boy culpable? I mean, who knows? Like, if you're riding by and some dude touches your car, how do you know he hasn't scratched it or keyed it? How do you know?
Investigators that he shot Long after a man she was with brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes as they were walking across the street. Surveillance video played in court shows Finch getting out of the car with a gun as the man with Long also pulls out his gun from her purse. That's when shots were fired. Finch's attorney says it was self-defense.
With regards to that video, it was clear to us who started it, and it was clear to us who was approaching his vehicle. And at that
Wow, this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. So this is, now we see why white America ignored this one. White people ignored this one, man. Now I see why y'all ain't set up no GoFundMe for this one. That white boy was aggressive, man. That was a aggressive white boy.
Shot Long after a man she was with brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes as they were walking across the street. Surveillance video played in court shows Finch getting out of the car with a gun as the man with Long also pulls out his gun from her purse. That's when shots were fired. Finch's attorney says it was self-defense.
with regards to that video, it was clear to us.
Look at him. He's got his gun and he's walking towards the guy. He pulled his gun out of her purse and he's walking towards the guy. It has nothing to do with the car anymore. It has nothing to do with swiping at the car anymore. Has nothing to do with swiping. It has nothing to do with this anymore. This has nothing to do with the shooting anymore.
Finch told investigators that he shot Long after a man she was with brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes as they were walking across the street. Surveillance video played in court shows Finch getting out of the car with a gun as the man with Long also pulls out his gun from her purse. That's when shots were fired. Finch's attorney says it was self-defense.
With regards to that video, it was clear to us who started it, and it was clear to us who was approaching his vehicle. And at that point, we believe the law allows him to defend himself. So, and you'll hear a lot more about that in trial.
Long's family declined to speak to CBS News Texas on Wednesday, but did share their pain with us in late April, saying that Long was a Houston area real estate agent who was in Dallas for a networking trip.
Night out on the town and then being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I feel dead inside. She was,
It's a tough one, man. I mean, what was the brother supposed to do? The brother did get out originally and brandish the gun. That's probably what's going to hurt the brother. I don't know. Because the brother got out originally and brandished the gun. But he was provoked. But they're probably not going to say that's worth. And then this guy's he pulls his gun out of his girl's purse and then starts walking forward. Yeah. This is a tough case right here, man.
Area real estate agent who was in Dallas for a networking trip.
night out on the town and then being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I feel dead inside. She was my everything.
In Dallas, Marissa Armas, CBS News, Texas.
The man charged for killing a Houston area real estate agent in downtown Dallas last month was in court today hoping to get his $500,000 bond reduced.
Fox 4's Alex Boyer was in court today and has more on the judge's decision and joins us live. Alex.
Hey guys, I sat in on that hearing and it lasted nearly 2 hours. You know, the defense was trying to get that $500,000 bond reduced, calling it excessive for a non-capital murder case. After hearing all of the evidence, the judge ultimately upheld it. Surveillance video played inside a Dallas County courtroom Wednesday shows how a deadly shootout on the streets of downtown Dallas unfolded back on April 5th. It was presented by the prosecution as part of a bond reduction hearing for murder suspect 34-year-old Hendrix Finch.
He was the first one to step out with a gun.
That's prosecutor Jason Hermes referring to Finch. In the video, you see 28-year-old Ashley Long and her friend 36-year-old William Kistler walking on Main Street as a Mercedes drives by. Kistler brushes the car with his hand. The Mercedes stops. Almost immediately, Kistler can be seen trying to retrieve a handgun out of Long's purse when Finch steps out of the car with a gun in his hand. The lead homicide detective was the state's only witness.
I can tell you Mr. Finch's gun was pointed in Mr. Kistler and Miss Long's direction, and she had started to fall prior to what appears to be Mr. Kistler directing his gun at Mr. Finch. So to go out on an assumption, I would assume that Mr. Finch fired first.
The defense asked for the hearing trying to get Finch's $500,000 bond reduced. Josh Healy claims the video shows Finch fired in self-defense.
He's fighting around trying to get that gun and finally gets it, goes like this towards my client. And when he takes those steps towards my client has every right under the law to defend himself.
Long, a realtor visiting from southeast Texas, was shot twice and later died. Kistler was hit once and survived. In the video, you see him try to move her to the sidewalk. The prosecution argued Finch is a risk to the community and asked for the bond to be upheld.
He fired that gun at least 8 times in a crowded residential commercial street with cars and people walking all around.
The judge, having heard all the evidence, ultimately agreed.
The writ is denied. The bond remains at $500,000.
I can tell you that families from both sides packed that courtroom today. They declined to speak to us after the hearing. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Finch remains here in the Dallas County Jail on that $500,000 bond. Back to you.
All right, Alex.
That is a tough one, Jack. Woo! That's a tough one. You heard me. That is a tough one. Everyone hit the like button, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, guys. Please hit the like button. Man.
We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. The cops, the 3 former Memphis police officers who killed a man during a traffic stop, they have now been found not guilty. They have been acquitted in the Tyree Nichols case. I'm going to remind you, here it is, and I'll bring it up, Dave.
You gonna get your ass blown the phone. Get the damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. On the ground. All right. Hey, you don't do that, okay? Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Okay. I think you change your ass. All right, I'm on the ground.
Okay, he says, all right, I'm on the ground. He says, all right, I'm on the ground. Why didn't you stay your black ass on the ground? Why didn't you stay your black ass on the ground?
All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down. Yes, lay down. Please change. I'm fixing to change you. Get on the ground. Lay down. One.
They're talking about lay down on your stomach and put your hands behind your back. He's playing with them. Now listen. Now, I ain't even talking to those people, man. Fuck them people. Listen, he's playing with them, right? He knows what they mean when they say get on the ground. They're not talking about sit Indian style, motherfucker. They need you to get down on your stomach, put your hands behind your back, and submit to these handcuffs. You under arrest.
You gonna get your ass blown the phone. Get the damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. On the ground. All right. Hey, you don't do that, okay? Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Okay. I think you change your ass. All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down. Yes, lay down. Please change. I'm fixing to change you. Get on the ground. Lay down. One. Now. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Once again, this is a breaking story.
Okay, we got to see the rest, man. I want to see good. I want to see the rest of that. Salute to Deluxe 247, a.k.a. Cal Ripken, a.k.a. the real MVP coming through once again, man. Because they lost this trial for a reason, man. They lost this trial for a reason. Did they scrub it? Did they scrub it? Oh, wow. They won't let you watch the body camera. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
They will not let you watch the body camera. That's crazy. But as you can see there, he wasn't complying. He was not complying.
Breaking news. Acquitted now in fatal beating of Tyree Nichols after a traffic stop. The Associated Press reports that 3 former Memphis officers were acquitted Wednesday of state charges, including second-degree murder and the fatal beating of Mr. Tyree Nichols after he ran away from a traffic stop, according to their narrative. A jury, which appeared to be all white, took about 8.5 hours over 2 days to find Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justice Smith not guilty on all charges after a 9-day trial in the state court of Memphis. The 3 defendants still face years, possibly, in prison after they were convicted of federal charges last year, though they were acquitted of the most serious charges then too. The officers had been charged with second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. As I said, this is still a breaking story. We're getting information in real time. It's unconscionable, in my opinion. Not only did they engage in significant criminal misconduct, but they also engaged in significant cover-up of said criminal misconduct. Cover-up is typically evidence of a guilty conscience, especially if you are a member of law enforcement where all the cards are on your side as far as the narrative is concerned. If you're a police officer and you claim you were in fear for your life, you damn near get away with almost anything in a judicial system. But cover-up happened, and the cover-up was extreme. And then we find elements of corruption just by looking under the hood of that operation for a moment. All of this corruption starts to be exposed, but they have been acquitted.
Acquitted. But here's the thing, man. Niggas are being sent a message, man. Comply. This is part of fatigue, man. This is part of fatigue, man. This is part of fatigue. Comply. Comply.
Damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. On the ground. You don't do that, okay? Get on the ground. Okay. Change your ass. All right. I'm on the ground. Lay down. That's all. Lay down. Please change on the ground. I think I changed you. Get on the ground. Lay down. 1, Now, taser. All right, okay. All right. Break your shit. Okay, dude, damn. Put your
So the cop has the taser on him, jammed into his leg, and he still won't comply. The cop hasn't deployed the taser. He just has the taser jammed into his leg. And this dude still won't comply. He's still talking and shit and doing everything but complying. And listen, this is a message to the black community, man. In fatigue has reached the levels of in fatigue out here. This is that special unit, the Scorpion unit, that they got rid of. This is a special unit. These are not beat cops. This is a special unit to tackle violent crime in Memphis. They called the Scorpion Unit. They were disbanded after this. These are a group of cops that are, highly aggressive, and they're out here on the street to tackle crime. They're not out here to, get your cat that's stuck in a tree, you know what I'm saying, or you lock the keys in your car. This is not what they're for.
Bitch, put your hands behind your back. Quick. Okay, stop. I'm gonna knock your ass. Hey, you guys are really doing a lot right now. Bro, lay down.
You guys are really doing a lot right now. And listen, but you're still not complying. If it's five or six officers sitting there and they can't, I'll give Tyree Nichols this. He's strong as a mug. He is strong as hell. Because they cannot get him on his stomach to save their life, man. Everyone smash the like button, man, right now, man. We're trying to beat the algorithm like we talked about last night, man. Everyone hit the like button, man. Well, yeah, they haven't patted him down yet, so they don't know if he's armed. They haven't patted him down yet, and usually when dudes resist like this, it's because they have a gun. So these cops know that. Even though these cops know that, so they're probably on high alert because they're like, why won't this guy give us his hands and lay down so we can cuff him and then search him?
I'm just trying to go home. Man, if you don't lay down. Oh, I am on the ground. Put your stomach.
Again, they say on your stomach. So he knows that they're not saying lay on your side and fight us and wrestle with us. If no one can watch this tape at this point and say, what do you think that the cops want him to do? Lay on his side and wrestle with them, or lay on his stomach? Press 1. Press 1 if you think the cops want him to lay on his stomach. Press 2 if you think the cops want him to lay on his side and wrestle with them. 1 for lay on your stomach, 2 for lay on his side and wrestle with them. So he clearly knows what's up.
Hey, swear. Okay. Stop! I'm not doing it.
So he gets up. He gets up and runs away, which they could have shot him right now because they haven't searched him yet. They showed great restraint because they hadn't searched him yet. They don't know if he has a weapon. So he breaks away, gets up. And then he runs off into the night. I'm not going to show what happened when they caught up with him. But I'm not going to show what happened when they caught up with him. This is peak level in fatigue, man. Peak level in fatigue. This jury found these cops not guilty. Because you remember they caught him and they beat the shit out of him. They beat him good. When they caught him, oh man, when they caught him, they beat him good. They beat him like a yeah, man. They beat him good. Yeah, they beat him worse than the piñata, man. They beat him worse than the piñata. They beat him like a piñata made out of goddamn steel. They beat him good. Yeah, they whooped his ass. But the jury, the jury found the cops not guilty. And niggas are mad. He died. He ended up dying after his beating. He ended up dying from his beating.
How did we get here? The path to this day comes some 2 years and 5 months after Nichols was initially stopped in Hickory Hill. Since then, it has been a long and tedious process for those involved, and for Nichols' family, a painful and emotional time. Here's WREG's Shay Arthur with a look at how we got here.
Where they are. For the last 8 days, we've taken you inside a Shelby County courtroom. Sometimes they were tense.
He got out of the car and he grabbed the guy that he thought had done something wrong.
Other times, emotional testimony. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy spoke to us about his team of attorneys on the case.
They've worked very hard for a long time in preparing this case. They were very thoroughly prepared, and they fought really hard to get justice for Tyree Nichols.
What's been discussed with so many closely watching goes back to this intersection, January 7th, 2023, at Ross and Rains Roads, where police claim they initially attempted to stop Tyree Nichols and ultimately ended in this quiet neighborhood about half a mile down the street, which we later learned from watching MPD body and dash camera video was also where Nichols was repeatedly punched and kicked not far from his family home. 3 days later, he died at the hospital. 10 days later, 5 Memphis police officers are fired, including the 3 who have been on trial. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. The 2 others have reached other agreements on their charges. On January 26th, the group was indicted in state court. Then the next day, the shocking video of Nichols' arrest is released to the public. On January 28th, the Scorpion Unit was deactivated. That was a specialized team these officers were part of. It was supposed to target criminal hotspots. Months later, on September 12, 2023, the men were federally indicted. And more than a year later, after weeks of a federal trial, on October 2nd, 2024, a federal jury reached a mixed verdict. Then fast forward, April 28th, 2025, the state trial for Smith, Bean, and Haley begins. For your news leader, Shay Arthur, WREG News Channel 3.
6. I personally think any fair-minded person who watches the video would come to the conclusion that everybody there had some responsibility for Tyree Nichols' death.
3 former Memphis police officers are found not guilty on all charges in the beating death of Tyree Nichols. Tonight, the district attorney and the Nichols family are trying to figure out how the jury reached that conclusion. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. It has been an emotional day as the state trial of the former officers ends. We have Team 3 coverage of the verdict tonight, and WRHG's April Thompson is live at the courthouse downtown with the latest. Give us the perspective from the courtroom. April.
I tell you, Greg, you talk about the emotion of this. Tyree Nichols' family left without saying anything. His sister in tears. On the other side of this, the officer's family, they left shouting, "Thank you, Jesus." So different emotions, different reactions from these families in this. But we were inside the courtroom, like you said, and we have some video of that. When this verdict came down, the judge told everyone to hold their emotions, and everyone pretty much did. While I watched them as those verdicts were read, not guilty again and again. Tyree's sister had her eyes closed, Ravon Wells, her eyes closed, head down. The family of the officers, pretty much the same. And then they left the courtroom, and that's when we saw those emotions. Inside the courtroom, the officers hugged each other, their attorneys, and of course, they were pleased with the outcome. But a lot of people shocked by this, especially the district attorney. The prosecutors had put on a case they thought was strong. They had that strong video that we all have seen. They thought that might be enough to get a conviction. I'm sure that they didn't expect not guilty on every count, 7 counts for each of these officers. We talked to District Attorney Steve Mulroy afterwards, and here's more of what he had
on every count. Not guilty on every count. God.
to say.
It's hard for me to understand, as I'm sure it's hard for the public to understand, or many in the public anyway, who watched that video, who heard the testimony, who heard the compelling arguments of trial counsel. It's hard for us to imagine how someone could say that none of the defendants were guilty of any of the charges. I think any fair mind, I personally...
Jury makeup, which was also quite controversial.
But that is what this jury found. This jury from the Chattanooga area, 8 women, 4 men. They spent about 8.5 hours deliberating.
8 women and 4 men. It was an all-white jury of 8 women and 4 men. They said, "Nigga, we are fatigued." Press 1. That jury of 8 women and 8 white women and 4 white men said, "Look, nigga, we are exhausted. Comply or die."
And they had to reach a unanimous verdict. They had to be unanimous on each count. And apparently they were able to do that. Not guilty on 7 counts for Tadarius Bean, Justin Smith, and Demetrius Haley tonight. April Thompson, WRAG News Channel 3.
All right, thank you, April. Well, just a short time ago, Memphis Mayor Paul Young and Police Chief C.J. Davis released a joint statement on today's verdict. Here's what they had to say.
This message is for our community. Today, my prayers are with the Nichols family and our entire city. I understand the pain we're feeling as a life was lost at the hands of officers whose actions don't reflect the values of our Memphis Police Department. Memphis is still healing, and that healing demands that we work together. As a city, we're committed to doing the work of creating a deeper trust between law enforcement.
Please don't burn the city down. Please don't burn the city down.
And the people of Memphis. And on behalf of the city, we're steadfast in our dedication to creating a safer, more just Memphis for everyone.
Today, a verdict was reached in the trial concerning the death of Tyree Nichols, and that has had a profound impact on his family, our department and city, and the entire nation. Policing in Memphis must always be ever evolving and continuously improving, and I am confident that our team is ready to further the work of creating ongoing change. As I have stated before, we believe in improved policing, in training, and in progress we are seeing daily. We recognize the pain and grief this incident has caused, and the men and women of the Memphis Police Department remain committed to rebuilding trust and working together toward a stronger, safer Memphis for all.
In the days, weeks, and years ahead, we'll continue to work and we will heal together.
All right, talking about healing after a really emotional day.
Exactly right, yeah.
Okay. Well, State Representative G.A. Hardaway is one of those who has been keeping a close eye on this case.
He joins us live tonight. And Representative, thanks so much for joining us. You were with us earlier today, and I know you're disappointed with the verdict, but you were telling us that you think this might even lead to some legislative change.
Oh, absolutely. And once again, I want to express my condolences to the family, Tyree Nichols' family, especially his mom, Ms. Rohan. But yeah, I think the system worked. It didn't work the way we wanted it to work. I thought that we had enough evidence presented by the DA's Mulroy's team. They did a fine job in laying out the.
Nah, nigga, you ain't have enough evidence, nigga.
More breaking news coverage on the state trial for 3 former Memphis police officers accused of beating Tyree Nichols to death. A verdict coming down from the jury a little more than an hour ago, finding Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Bean, and Justin Smith not guilty.
Otis Sanford, political analyst here for ABC 24, joining us now. Otis, I just want your initial thoughts and just reactions from today's outcome.
Well, I have two sort of extreme reactions. One is I'm not surprised that the worst charges, the murder charges, they were found not guilty. I'm not surprised.
Hey,
me that the ones who did the most.
What's happening?
Do you remember the statement this bitch said before the video was released?
Yeah.
This is the most heinous. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. And we always like, it's more to that shit. It's more clippings to it. Blah blah. And the fact that his mom is suing the city for $550 million, and she gave him away to a white woman and didn't even raise this man. He was going there to meet her for like the first fucking time.
Get the fuck out of here.
He didn't know his mama.
Get out of here.
This man did not know his mom, bruh.
Get out of here, because she been crying in the court and
he didn't know that lady.
You gotta prove that to me. You got something. You got you prove that. I can't. I don't want to say that without proof.
What's up, Ak? What's up, Cook County?
What's happening?
Somebody look it up because I can't exit. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this just goes to show you that sons don't care about their children until something happens to them. You know what I mean? Like when something happens with the cops and all that shit, they only care about after the fact to try to get money off of them. You feel me? Press 1.
His mother was named the Times Most Influential People list, Time Magazine. I think they would have vetted that, whether she. That's hard to believe, man. That's hard to believe, man.
I'm looking at it.
It was adoption.
I think. No, I'm trying to see. It may have been fake news, but either way, bruh. Did you? And then I also heard this motherfucker was sick or some shit already.
Yeah, I think he had some kind of disease.
Dialysis. He was on dialysis or some shit. This young and all this other shit.
I heard something like that too.
Okay, I also heard that was a reason.
Though. He was strong as an ox, though.
Yeah, he was strong as fuck because he was fighting for them motherfuckers. Caught him like 3 separate times, bro. Like this was like, and then they slowed down the video at court, and they had like this animated like simulations of everything, not like the angle that we saw, like in the video. And they was saying like that whole shit that we saw with it looked like they was holding them up, punching them. When nobody punching them, they was all doing like stun strikes and shit. And it was like the dude that like made the use of force for them and all the training and shit, he was retired. He was there breaking all that shit down, and it was like, damn, they not beating the shit out of them right here. They not like holding them up and punching them and shit like that. Yeah,
Okay.
it was kind of crazy. But those three that I know the two that took that plea, I know they looking at themselves like, fuck, we should have took this shit to trial, bro.
Nah, but here's the thing though. Most people would never think in a million years that you could beat this case.
Dude, me either. I thought like
So
I was waiting on a guilty plea. I was waiting on a guilty plea for this one.
Yeah.
Derek
I wouldn't
Chauvin had a better chance of beating his case than this.
Yeah, I wouldn't have took that to trial. I'd have copped on that too. Fuck that. Like this is they're blaming the white jury. Niggas, of course, they're gonna find the closest white person to the situation and blame them.
In terms
Well,
of,
it's wild though
causing
because
Tyree Nichols' death are the one.
I said it's wild because, like, all right, if they got convicted, if the all white jury convicted the black man, it's racist.
Yeah.
But they acquitted the black men, so it's racist.
Was that where you saw the guy breaking it down, Crook?
You said what?
What video was that where they were breaking that down the whole thing?
Oh no, I was watching the trial live. So it was the guy, it was the old ass retired copper who was on the stand, and what they was doing was breaking it down frame by frame, and like this,
It's on Court TV, bro. Look it up. It's on Court TV on YouTube.
You saw it too, right?
Yeah.
And instead of like the whole, it looked like they holding them up, punching them. It was like he was like in a bladed stance, being held up by himself, and like it was crazy. I was like, I didn't see it that way at all, but shit, it had to have been some type of fucking beyond a reason. Yeah, it had to have been something.
He was unusually strong.
Ones who pled guilty to the charge. So I'm not surprised by that. I am surprised that none of the lesser charges, oppression and failing to follow procedure and things like that, I am surprised that there were no.
See, that failure to follow procedure,
and it doesn't seem like
that failure to follow procedure was so easy to debunk when that old ass white dude got on that stand. And his FTOs and all the motherfuckers got on their stand, and they started talking about in their general orders what the hell, you know what I'm saying, what they're supposed to do with this. And then what skipped the whole thing was they used every use of force fucking thing before deadly force, and they never actually went to deadly force.
No, he's right. He's right. Yep.
They tried to tase him.
Hard hand
they tried
controls,
to spray.
taser.
Yeah, they
tried
sprayed
to spray
him.
They went the whole fucking.
They
ladder
went everywhere. They never pulled out their gun, and they never fucking struck him in the fucking head or none of that shit.
He never complied, even to the end.
To the end, he didn't comply, and then
guys,
the whole thing with him being sick and him dying days later. Yeah.
So they were convicted federally, right? So
yeah. But it wasn't for murder.
They weren't convicted of everything federal.
It was like a half thing, and it was like they were convicted of like official federal, like official misconduct. It was some shit. It was something small. It was like something that on the local level would be a misdemeanor, bro. They was convicted of.
So Cook, you know how this administrative shit works, like I do. My question is this: like, since they beat this case, could they potentially have a lawsuit for wrongful termination?
Yeah. Just like in Atlanta, the only thing that's different from this one in Atlanta is they were convicted of something federally. I don't know how a federal conviction works when it comes to like the wrongful termination, because you remember in Atlanta with our friend Rashad Brooks.
Yes, sir.
They actually got their job back with back pay.
Yes, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
So I don't know.
Verdict,
yeah, I don't
know.
know.
That verdict. Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know how the federal court system work when it comes to municipalities and local shit. We usually don't coincide. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From the University of Memphis, I'm sure Otis appreciates
good old U of it.
Guys, can I ask you guys a question? Do you think Tyree Nichols was on drugs or anything? If none of the use of force continuum actually worked on him?
I don't know, man. It depends. Like, I don't know what the toxicology was.
That would have came out in court.
No, it didn't. Nothing came out in the toxicology that he was high of anything.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I tried to
From the
watch the
University
trial.
of
The trial
Memphis.
was fucking boring though. That trial was so fucking boring. It was like they had
I skimmed
fucking
it too, man.
bro. They had antiques coming up there and testifying. That shit was crazy.
Because usually, like when like pepper spray or tasers don't work, the suspect is usually intoxicated.
Well, no. Hang on. Tasers fail all the fucking time. Tasers
Tasers
fail
are
all
terrible
the time.
technology.
And also pepper spray. They literally train you in the military and in civilian law enforcement to fight through pepper spray. So that's not undoable. It's not out of the ordinary. Tasers are the worst fucking thing out there, in my opinion. But
Because usually, like I've seen videos of tasers, like where like a 300-pound dude is hit and then they drop like a sack of potatoes. So
what a taser is? Do you got time for this? You want me to go into that about a taser?
Please.
Go ahead.
All right. So here's the thing about a taser, right? So you got two prongs, right? The two prongs, they shoot out from the taser. One of them is point of aim, point of impact. So you got a little laser, and wherever you're pointing it, the first one shoots directly where you want it to go. The second prong shoots out 45 degrees. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cook County. It shoots out 45 degrees. So if those tasers, if those two prongs either A, don't connect, or B, you're wearing baggy clothing or whatever, you're moving around. If those two prongs do not connect perfectly, you're not going to get a long enough stream to shut down the muscle activity. Does that make sense?
So like both prongs have to like connect to the body and complete a circuit. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's
yes,
and it's basically got to be like perfect.
It really has to be perfect. Yes, I never use that shit.
I've used it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's a good deterrent. It's a good deterrent because people see it and they arc it, and people, oh shit, he got a taser. People, they seen the videos of it working perfectly, but nah, bro, I don't trust my life to that shit.
Salute to Malik Kweli, man. He says, Tyree's mom gonna run somebody over for get back. Yeah, man. She gonna run somebody, but she got the lawsuit, $500 million lawsuit, and they're gonna but it's gonna be harder since they lost the case, right?
It's gonna be way harder since they lost this case. I ain't gonna lie to you, but they still gonna give her like 30 fucking million.
Yeah,
because they some fucking simps.
Yeah, no, they're gonna give her some money.
Right. And one of the things we learn about is what's called epidictic or ceremonial rhetoric. So what do we expect Mulroy to say?
Exactly.
He's not going to get up there and say that his team put on a mediocre defense or lacked zeal or was not thorough. Who knows what he might say behind closed doors? Who knows how much influence he had on whatever kind of defense was put together? Same is true, or the point that I'm trying to make regarding C.J. Davis. Was it simply ceremonial rhetoric when she stood in front of hundreds of millions of people on national news outlets and said they violated policy, they did not follow their training? There is a gap,
and that's why that
between
bitch
what
shouldn't be the
came out
chief
in this trial and what came out of Chief Davis's mouth, which says someone must be lying. And we, the general public, would hope that that truth would come out during the trial. It didn't come out during the trial. We're left with just as many questions as we had before, insofar as what the fundamental truth is. And so what do people expect the general public to feel, except for a level of skepticism? Because we know if I or Otis were on trial, chances are that prosecution would have been a lot more thorough.
Niggas beat charges in Memphis all the time.
Bruh, this is the thing, bro. This is so crazy.
Were black.
Bro, this is so crazy for this man to get up there and talk shit about the prosecution and all this other shit, blah, blah, da, da, da. But if it was a fucking Sun Man that killed a glider that got off, they'd be celebrating the shit out of every fucking thing. And this is why niggas about to be surprised when Carmelo Anthony get 25 fucking years to life.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, definitely. You motherfuckers are so misinformed, so ill-informed about like how this shit work, and y'all believe this social media shit. I know you remember when this shit happened. I said, no matter what, I think it's more to this shit. It's more to the story, bro. When they wasn't charged with first-degree murder immediately, and they was getting charged with some bullshit ass official something blah blah, and I was like, oh, that's low of the low. It's more to this fucking story.
But the fact that, oh my God, the fact that they were all black, man. It was all white jury, and they acquitted all black men. And some men say, oh, like it doesn't matter what your skin
Hey,
color is,
and
you know,
Ben
if you're a
Crump
cop.
and
Oh,
Ben Crump didn't want to get too involved. Y'all know why he didn't want to get too involved, right?
Why?
they got something on him, bro. I said
No,
that
no,
shit
no,
yesterday.
no, man. 3 of the 5 was Q's, bro.
Hughes. Oh,
Yeah, 3 of the 5. If you watch the video, you will see the rubber band, Omega rubber band.
The fuck is a Q for the uneducated?
Omega Psi Phi, a black fraternity.
Yeah, so
Like,
Ben Crump and 3 of the 5 are my frat brothers.
like a lot of jocks and shit. A lot of jocks and a lot of fucking, like tough guys and shit take their fraternity. My father-in-law and my brother is a Q.
So that's kind of like
Is that the one?
the Masons or some shit, or what?
Nah.
I don't think it's that deep.
Shit, they put you through hell to go through that. Oh,
Yeah, nah.
Is that the one where you learn the dance?
They put you through hell. You gotta be
talking about like
careful. You gotta
hopping?
know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, that's a whole different story.
Comprehensive
but, yeah.
and aggressive. They say it's better to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it. They clearly needed much more evidence and did not have it.
And
This nigga just quoted
I agree with
Tremors.
that 100%.
This nigga just quoted
to,
Tremors.
The point with Chief C.J. Davis, and I don't understand why she wasn't called as a witness.
And that was one topic
I
we
don't.
discussed as well.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Is because the prosecution, their job is to prosecute, and they can't worry about anything else. And if there was a fear that, or there was some concern that, well, she really can't testify because the civil case is hanging over their head, that's not the prosecution's problem. The prosecution is there to prosecute the charges that they filed.
Right.
When you file those charges, you would.
And Pastor, I know that you had talked about this as well, the makeup of the jury that was decided in this case between the defense and the prosecution. When you take a look at these jurors, there were 8 women, there were 4 men. They were all white in this particular case, and they came from a completely different county in Tennessee. How do you think that impacted this verdict?
I think it was the singular thing that made the difference in this particular verdict. It is not.
So again, this is the narrative they're going with. We blame the white people, the villain.
They blaming the white people. Yep. Hey, monitor Memphis. Monitor Memphis Police Department, because it's gonna be. Let me just say, monitor Memphis Police Department, because in the next coming days, I guarantee the FOP and the body, the officers will vote a no confidence in CJ Davis soon.
Well, she got fired from Atlanta PD.
She was shitty there, and she about to be fucking fired from this one.
Not a jury of peers, according to the 6th Amendment. It does not fit the description. You're talking about people who have no context and no cultural connection to this community. The lived
cultural connection. They saw all the evidence. What do you mean a cultural connection? See, he's talking about something. This is why people are getting tired of sun fatigue, because
they ain't black.
He's talking about culture. This is a case, a court case, evidence, and just there should be no talk of culture. They had to move the case because it was so big in Memphis. The cops would have never gotten a fair trial.
Exactly. That's the same thing they're trying to do with the Carmelo case. They want to move the venue.
They got 8 white jurors. I listen. That's what you would want. 8 white jurors. You wouldn't want no black jurors because a black juror is on there getting emotional, and if it's a sister, she ain't there thinking about that could be my son. You don't need none of that from a juror. You want jurors to be like robots and just assess the goddamn information. And these white people looked at that shit and said, "Oh, this nigga is never complied, ever." I mean, they engaged him. He didn't comply. He ran off into the night. They caught him again. He didn't comply. He ran off again. They caught him again. He didn't comply.
He got away a lot, bro. That video was crazy.
They said
this nigga was an escape artist.
They said, "In words, we are exhausted with you, not guilty."
The experiences of these individuals probably do not make up some of the same experiences that Tyree Nichols and his family and others here have experienced. So,
didn't you say Tyree? Wasn't he in like Colorado or skating? Like he was a skater. He wasn't from Memphis. This was like his first time.
Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento. Because all his pictures got white people in it. I don't know what the fuck this guy.
So he was living in Sacramento among skaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually big on the skater scene. He's got like a few videos.
Yeah, so he's and this guy's talking about these white people didn't share any culture with him, and literally every picture of him has white people in it.
Some of the same experiences that Tyree Nichols and his family and others here have experienced. So I think we have a lot to go back. And I want to say one other thing that we have to really not dismiss this moment. I think something that D.A. Mulroy said, with all due respect, I do have great respect for his office and the efforts that were made. But this is a Monday morning quarterbacking situation. We do have a sentinel moment here where something as clear as 21 opportunities to get one guilty verdict did not happen. So we got to go back and dissect this and figure it out. If everybody just goes home now and says, well, it's over, it's done, then this community gets no justice at all. We need to have some understanding of what went wrong here and what could we have learned or what can we do better so that if or when this happens again, we don't make the same mistake twice.
You mentioned the lived experiences that come into play when a jury is making its decision. Talk to us about why that is important.
So when you look at it, you can see in the United States of America, this is data proven, that the same experiences that an African-American male has with a police force is not the same lived experience as a Caucasian male and or female. It's
because they don't comply. That dude would have had the same. Listen, if he had complied and gotten on his stomach, that interaction would have been maybe 5 minutes. They would have got him in the car. They might even have let him go. They might even been, oh, this nigga skater. Let him go. You know what I'm saying? Like we the Scorpion unit. He ain't got no drugs on him. He ain't got no guns on him. All right, nigga, just be careful how you drive. Get the fuck out of here.
He was raised in Sacramento, California.
Mm-hmm.
And he only got to Memphis in 2020. His mother was from Memphis. So they trying to chop up this story and not try to connect it. He did not know this lady until 2020. I'm telling y'all, bro.
I just want to say,
know what lady?
His mother.
Oh shit.
The one
his
that's
biological mother, I think he's talking about.
That's trying to get $550 million from the city.
But I just want to say this, like, I think the guy probably was on something, or he might have been like out of his mind because he was driving erratically. Like I remember when the video of the Tyree Nichols situation first came out, they had like one of the cops' car was parked right in front of his, try to prevent him from driving forward. Like, usually that's done. Correct me if I'm wrong, law enforcement guys. Usually that's done for a person who's driving very erratically or who's a danger on the road. Correct?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Yeah, go ahead. What you mean?
No, I'm saying like when I first saw the video of like, when they stopped him, they were trying to tackle him on the ground. Like one of the cops, like their car was parked directly in front of his vehicle.
See, that's where they fucked everybody up at because they started it on like the second time they stopped them.
Yeah. They were so for a unit to get in front of him right?
And
To find
box of
out where
men.
he's
That's called
going.
box of the men. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boxing the
that's what
men,
I meant.
right? Yeah. So for a unit to get in front of him, someone was already chasing his ass for a while, and they put it out on the radio that he's going, let's say, northbound on Sam Street, and there was a unit in the area. They cut him off. So yeah, we didn't see the initial traffic stop and whatnot.
That's what I'm saying. They literally started this shit off from when the officers was already on 100. We never seen the officers just pulling them over and saying, hey, license and registration, sir. No, no, no. They show us them boxing them in, him jumping out, they chasing his ass, they losing him, they tasing him, they chasing him again, they find him, and then to beat the shit out of him.
Which was wild, man. This motherfucker was. I was impressed. Like, I mean, I've lost foot chases. You probably lost some foot chases, Cook. But I ain't never lost like 2 or 3 of them in the same goddamn night.
I would have been done after the second one. I would have been like,
Hey,
yeah,
bro,
he
that
good,
nigga
bro.
gone, bro. We got his license plate, bro. Fuck that.
Yeah, and for him to not have any drugs or guns on him, it's just like all the more perplexing because it's like, what the fuck did you do all that shit for?
Because he was woke as fuck, bro. He ain't got indoctrinated. If you look at his social media, all his shit was like George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, and fucking police brutality type shit. He was woke.
He was from California, and he
He
thought
was
shit was
woke
sweet.
as fuck.
He thought he was from California. He thought shit was sweet in fucking Memphis, and it ain't.
All I gotta say is comply or die, nigga.
Damn.
Crime is higher, and then you do have the DOJ situation that's happening right here, right now, and so you definitely have 2 different experiences. I believe, and I'm this is just a gut feeling on my part. We had a lot of weariness in this. We've been dealing with this since January 7, 2023. It did not sound like an enthusiastic case was presented. It sounded as if we came to a jury selection where we said, let's go get 12 people. We picked a jury very quickly, I think, on this as well. And when we got them into Shelby County and they began to hear this case, I don't know that they really had a full context of what it means to be a person who lives in the city of Memphis, especially a young 20.
Nigga, that was the whole point.
They don't
Do he
understand how.
do he not
they don't
understand
how courts work. They don't understand how courts work. Both.
That was the whole point,
bro. The prosecution and the defense, they both can accept and reject jury members.
Mm-hmm.
No, fuck that. The whole point he's saying they didn't understand how I feel to be a citizen in fucking Memphis, Tennessee. Obviously, motherfucker, that's why they went to Hamilton. Because they had no fucking publicity about this shit. They really didn't hear about this case. That's why they picked them, motherfucker. That's why it was 12 white people. Because they wanted them to have no type of biases.
Now, Amanda Harrington. Oh shit. I said Amanda Harrington. She actually brought up a good point. Like maybe there was some liberal white women on the jury, and they was like, we don't want to lock up these black men. What do you think about that, Ock?
Nah. I think this is just good old corn-fed bread white Southerners that looked at that and said, yo, this guy never ever complied. And like they didn't feel like, okay, if I had done this, nothing would happen to me. Like white people look at that shit when niggas be like doing it. They know like, okay, like if I don't comply, the cop is gonna continue to try to get me to comply. They make it seem like if a white person like, man, nah, man, I'm out of here. The cop's just like, all right, man, I tried.
All right, bro. I'll see you later, man.
Like it's not like that for them at all. It's not like that for white people at all. It's
Man,
just
I be saying white people get fucking obliterated by the police.
Yeah, and more white people get killed by police every year, and they have far less interactions. I mean, far less.
Especially violent
Now,
interactions.
coverage continues. We're joined by Representative Antonio Parkinson. Representative, thank you for being here this afternoon. You and I were talking in the break. Where were you when you learned about these verdicts, and what emotions went through your body?
Yeah, I was sitting in my house. I was on my computer and on social media, and then it popped up in the top of my feed, and I thought I had read it wrong, and but apparently not. And you know, my first emotion was how how tragic and painful this must be for Mr. and Mrs. Wells, and that was my first emotion, and feel that that pain in my gut, for them, right? Because you went through it initially as a parent, then you went through the federal trial as a parent, and then now the state trial as a parent, and so imagine all of the gut punches that Mr. and Mrs. Wells have had to take, and the rest of the family, and the community.
Right. From the
Hey,
family.
if they so
to,
tired
as
of
you
the if
just
they
put
so
it,
tired
the
of the gun
community,
punches, they
how
need
can
to
this
cancel the
community
civil trial. Yeah, I'm
react
so
to it
I'm so
and
tired of
even
this
begin to
gut
try to
punches.
comprehend or heal from this?
That's a tough one. Healing is going to take some time, right? And you think about
why?
Of course, obviously, first
They had like fucking 20 people get murdered last month. Over 20 people get murdered last month. They had like 6 or 7 mass shootings.
Oh man, did you see that shit I had sent you at that press conference in Memphis about the liquor store and shit, selling ski masks and all that shit?
Yeah, shiesties. I saw that shit.
Man, I sent it a while back. I gotta find it again.
This is
Mr.
like the
and Mrs.
Twilight
Wells
Zone, though.
and the family of Tyree Nichols, but the other officers that are our friends, that we know, that are our relatives, that also are set back because of now the mistrust.
Nigga, he acting like what black people was like, all right, we're back trusting the cops again, and then this happened, and then I was like, oh God. Like y'all always have a fucking horrible relationship with the cops. This
No
kid,
matter what, though.
yeah, he trying to act like trying to gaslight the cops and shit. Like, man, we was just coming to like y'all, and then y'all did this. Shut the fuck up, man.
And
We
Memphis Police Department.
we seamlessly transition, man, like the narrative, because I'm still floored that the fact that we have, all right, there's two, I don't know, it's like an Indian, maybe a Patel, a black man. We've had so many black people who are absolutely floored that 3 black men were acquitted by an all-white jury. Like, this is fucking with my mind right now.
Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, guys. Also, hit the like button, man.
Yeah, that's what Mac. I just wanted to bring this up because it's been on my mind for like a couple minutes now. How the fuck are they going to blame racism when it was black cops who did this to Tyree, and they were acquitted by an all glider jury? You know what I mean? It makes absolutely no sense.
I know the nation is healing.
I'm melting down, man. This is like a robot with the. It does not compute. It does not compute, bro. I can't make sense of this.
To me, it does.
But then how are they gonna play that whole racist narrative? Like
Listen,
this has to be racism.
Hang on, what you got, bro?
Let me tell you how they're gonna play the whole racist narrative, man. The closest white person is at fault. So there was no white officers, right?
There was one white officer.
There was one. He pled guilty, which was fucking stupid.
This is literally black on black crime.
Okay, so boom. Now the next white person that enters the store, if it's like a play or a movie, is the prosecutor, right? The white prosecutor. His whole team is black. His whole team of lawyers are black. Then the next white person that entered was the jurors. So you're gonna blame the prosecutor and you're gonna blame the jurors. You gotta stop making this shit rocket scientists. I can't believe this and that. Listen, the closest white person to the scene is the villain. The end.
But here's the thing. Either way, the jury
would have been a white person that filmed it, right? They would have been like, damn, why he ain't call police and get back up on the scene? Or like, how could he just stand there and film this execution? Like, any white person near the end, that's it. It ain't, you don't try to figure it out, because when you try to figure it out, we're gonna be here for like 4 hours talking about how that shit could have happened. The closest white person to the scene is gonna get blamed.
I just got to say this real fast. The jury being all glider would be in a very tough situation, because either if they convict, then Tyree gets his justice, and that's just for a gunman. But that puts 3 other gunmen in jail. Either or.
You proving my point. Either way, they're gonna get blamed. Either way.
Yeah, you're proving this point. Unfortunately, God damn,
Between
niggas.
Them gliders did exactly what they should have
community
done.
and police officers in our community, and then given this verdict, right? If something does happen to you by the hands of a police officer, will you receive justice? It's traumatic, honestly, on everyone involved, right? And again, my thoughts are with the family, but my thoughts are also with those individuals that we love that serve also. And this is not good for anyone involved at all.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to listen for from some of our city leaders, from the police chief, just to name a few?
I want to hear our leaders speak to policy. Speak to.
They need to stop learning these words, policy and fucking all this bullshit. But anyway, annoying, right? The weirdest fucking line to ever draw in the sand. This is the most traumatizing, blah, blah, devastating thing that they ever seen. As if last week it wasn't 3 kids shot, 2 dead outside of Booker T. Washington High School, where they were shooting 7.62 rifle rounds at them.
Cook, you're joking, bro, but there was an actual, I don't know if you're joking or not. There was
No, that's the truth. That's the truth.
There's an actual fucking report about that shit.
No, that's the truth. It was outside of Booker T. Washington High School. It was 3 students shot, 2 dead, and there was rifle rounds and all type of shit. And they end up finally catching one of the guys, but they're still looking for 2 other shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
And this nigga ain't got a fucking word to say about that.
I just want to say something right now to you, Crook County. That you're right. They just throw around these buzzwords or big words or something like that. Like, a lot of sons do that. Like, they just throw big words in their sentences, and just to make themselves look smart, they don't know what it means.
Yeah, Uncle Rooker said that on the Boondocks. He said the nigga will use words he don't really understand.
Bro, this man right here, right? This man knows there's no solutions. He knows who's at fault in this shit. He knows what it takes. He knows this and all this other shit. But in order to get on the news, he got to get up here and wear his fucking pimp hat and act as if he's really caring about this shit, trying to figure something out. He knows what the fuck is up. He knows, in all actuality, if the same group of individuals would have dealt with this shit the black way, Tyree Nichols would have got shot 100 motherfucking times and been thrown in a fucking dumpster somewhere. And them motherfuckers would have turned themselves in and sat there and did 100 fucking years and become master spade players.
He's the well, first of all, I'm a master spade player because I'm in the Navy. But yes, you're right. Rest in peace, Dave Vaquero. He said that shit. The black pastor is the worst thing that happened to the black community. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna say this, like, the people who know that they're like the people who know the most that there are no solutions are the Sun leaders themselves. They know that more than anybody. Like, I mean, they're just doing this for their own grift. That's what I'm saying. Like, they want to complain about like slavery and the white man exploiting us. They're the ones doing the exploiting.
Yeah, but I'm out here telling you niggas the truth. So, man, hit this man Cash App up, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but am I right or what? What do you think,
Yes,
Mac?
you're right. Yes, you're right. Fucking
Ain't nobody a black fucking leader. All these motherfuckers are just black liars. There ain't nobody a black leader.
I toss it over to you for that interview.
All right, Steph and Greg, as you well know, reaction continues to pour into our newsroom. Right now, we're joined live by General Sessions Court Clerk Tammy Sawyer.
KB is in the back.
Activism. And Clerk Sawyer, initially, what are your thoughts about these not guilty verdicts?
Thank you for having me, Alex. You know, as each verdict was named, I found myself verbally saying, oh my God. I was shocked. I wish I could say I was speechless, but like many, I was devastatingly shocked to hear not guilty on all 7 counts for all 3 defendants.
When it comes to the Nichols family, though, your heart has got to break for them.
It absolutely does. I'm actually very close with the Nichols family. Visited with.
Why is a court clerk close with the victim's family? Salute to
I
Steve
saw
S, man.
I
Steve
saw
S,
that
man.
I saw that a whole bunch of like officials and activists had been real close with the Nichols family since the case had started, the civil trial and all the other shit.
Hey, Cook, man, hang on 1 second, man. Let me give a shout out to the donators, bro.
Salute to Steve S, man. Shout out to Steve S. Salute, man. Coming through once again. Steve S in the building, man. This is just weird, man.
Hey, I got a question. Is it more profitable for like a Sun family to have one of their people die or to murder a glider?
Yes. First question.
It depends on how they die, though. If they die by police, yeah. But I mean, if you don't die by
Doesn't
the
even
police,
have to be the police, man. I mean,
we continue our routine breed coverage right now.
I would have to say
if I were a heartless person, hang on, no. If some people were smart, all right, really smart, depending on where they live. Let's say I lived in Chicago, right? You know, Wyans all around. I would put $100,000 fucking life insurances on my kids if I didn't give a fuck about them. You know, you take a FBG Duck's mom. I think like fucking 3 out of 5 of her kids
5 of her 10
died.
kids died.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we as a people were smart, we'd put life insurance policies on our kids. The studios do that on rappers.
It's a
The
good idea.
fact, though, the problem though is that when I looked into that, man, you would think like, okay, any situation like that dire, it would be a portion of black women that would have put their children on life insurance on their children. None of them do though. Like not even like we can't even be like, man, no, man. Only 33% of black women have life insurance for their kids in the ghetto. None of them. That just shows that's the blackest thing ever. That none of them have it.
Well, we don't need life insurance, bro. We got Fish Prize and GoFundMe. We don't need
GoFundMe.
We don't need nothing.
Them little GoFundMe's don't be doing. When a nigga get killed, it's rare that them GoFundMe's go crazy. If the GoFundMe's
Yo,
go
life
crazy,
insurance policies are just as fucking equivalent to some people changing a smoke detector battery.
Exactly.
Damn.
It's the same kind of thing because it doesn't affect you in the moment. Like the insurance, think about how many black people have car insurance, right? And you can get pulled over and you get arrested in some places for not having car insurance. You can get a ticket for not having car insurance. You can take your kid around and you don't have to have insurance on your kid, but your car you're driving, you like literally the law mandates that you have to, and look how many few black people actually have that.
Facts
and circumstances that were presented here not come up with some level of culpability for these officers. I think it is reasonable to suggest that the prosecution didn't put on the best case. It was not as thorough or as robust or as comprehensive as the case that they
Now that DA been letting a lot of niggas off over the last couple of years. This the DA that the family of Breonna Taylor came down there to campaign for. And all George Floyd's family came to campaign for her. And he was the answer to 2020. They got him in there to he's gonna get everything right. He's gonna fix the disparity in the criminal justice system. And now they turning on him because of this case.
They brought
and the chief
young Dolph murder
and the
trial.
mayor.
Yep.
They put on 5 witnesses the defense put on 17 witnesses. They put on more than 15 witnesses in the Young Dolph trial. So there was something left lacking.
Because that was a broad daylight shooting. It's sunny day, busy street, broad daylight. This happened.
And don't
at the
forget,
fucking,
and don't
this is
forget the
crazy.
dude that was there shooting with the guy turned on him and was like, yeah, that's straight drop. Yeah. We went to go shoot him. Yeah. That's him right there. That's me. I'm shooting him. Oh yeah, that's him finishing him off.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, you can't compare those cases, bro.
No, but you can, Ryan, because we don't
You have to.
Like Ox said, bro, we don't understand causality. All right, everything is the same, even if it's not. Doesn't matter.
You don't understand nuance, man.
And if you look at the makeup of the jury that clearly was more sympathetic to law enforcement, it's hard for me to see how justice was actually done in this case.
As a community, as a black man, what message does this verdict send to the community?
That the threshold for equal protection under the law is almost insurmountable if you are in black skin. I don't think that this is the first time I sat in that courtroom right behind Sister Rovon and Brother Rodney one of those days. And it was my first time looking at a jury that I thought was actually trying to humanize a few black men who were on trial for murder. I don't think they were doing that because they were black. They were doing that because they were police officers.
What?
And I was...
It's
That's a
blowing my
wild
brain up.
accusation from some people
It's
that you don't
blowing
know.
my brain up.
He doesn't know any of those people. He doesn't know any of those people on the jury. He just basically just said, they tried to humor. This is the first time. How many cases have you been in, nigga? Like what? This is the first time I've ever seen a jury humanize a black man on trial for murder.
And the crazy shit is, bro, they went through jury selection. So everybody that was like, hey, do you have a father or somebody that was law enforcement, family? They got to be like, no, most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're eliminating the ones that are super fucking, pro police, obviously. These were just regular white people that got the case and said, this motherfucker didn't comply at all. They did what they had to do. He died 3 days later. It's not like he died right there. It ain't like they fucking left his brains bloodied on the fucking street. The dude had he was on dialysis already. Like,
I was frustrated by what I felt and what I saw. And I don't think that anything we've experienced in this trial actually got us closer to the truth of what actually happened to Tyree. And I think policing right now exists in this gap between policy and culture.
That's what I wanted to ask you about when it comes to accountability, when it comes to where we go with policing and police practices in our community, in the city of Memphis. What are you hearing? Where do we go?
I heard Chief Davis get on national television and say confidently that these officers, all 5 of them, violated policy and did not follow their training. And if she meant what she said, now she has to come and help us sift through whatever the results of this verdict is. It is ironic to me. Now, I understand that some of this is armchair quarterbacking, but people tell me what to preach at Abyssinian all the time. I don't know why the defense did not call any MPD officer. They didn't call Chief Davis. They didn't call any of her lieutenants. And so I'm curious, like, what we are supposed to do now with this gap between the culture of policing, which was clear on the video, and the policies of policing as testified to by Chief Davis.
So because the defense did not do their fucking job, it's the fault of the chief of police?
Well, she
Sunman logic.
Yeah, but she's not gonna. I think they're gonna have to prosecute her, man, because the prosecutor didn't call her, so it's like she's not gonna volunteer to get up there. So I think they're gonna blame it on the prosecutor.
Well, hang on.
And she jumped the gun anyway.
Chief of police, Cook, you still here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, chief of the police. All right. Okay, they're basically they're a politician with a badge and a gun. Okay. They oversee. It's kind of like the military. They oversee policy, okay? But the people who actually make and write the policy are under them, okay? I guarantee you, CJ, whatever her fucking name is, never been in a fucking fight in her goddamn life. Never chased a suspect successfully in her goddamn life, okay? So to bring her on trial and to have her try and talk about policy, she just signs the pen.
You gotta
Okay.
understand. You gotta understand why they're thinking that way, because they watched the Minneapolis police chief go in there and throw officers under the bus and lie about every fucking thing. So all they know is what they seen last. They saw that motherfucker from Minneapolis go up there and say that was against policy. I don't recommend that. This was the most heinous video ever. I want to get the federal and government involved right away. So that's all they see. CJ got up there and said immediately as the video released, she said it's the most heinous, this is the worst video I've ever seen in my 30 years of law enforcement. And for her to say that, not get on there, and then 3 not guilty verdicts, they looking at her crazy.
Let's see this, man.
Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff...
This is a tough one, man. Like, I mean, this is a tough one. I would love to see Ring Doorbell. I hope he has Ring Doorbell.
Yes.
Yeah, at this
Get a
point, all
Ring
we gotta do
doorbell.
is
Yes,
all we gotta
folks,
do
get
is
a Ring doorbell.
do the give, send, go challenge, and whoever get the most money gets set free or not charged. How about that?
This one right here is
to death while
I
doing...
mean, like these pranks. I'm gonna show you these pranks. These pranks are fucking crazy, man.
For a TikTok video.
terrorism.
Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired.
3 a.m. Are you kidding me? It's not even 3 a.m. now. If somebody came and banged on my door right now, like, because the thing is they try to bang, like, it's like, I forgot what they call it. I'm going to show you in the video.
The feds.
No, yeah,
It's
like, they try to...
It's called nigger knocking.
Something, no, but it's like the way they bang on your door, they trying to, like, knock the door down, and it's like, it's 1:30 on the East Coast, man. So it's an hour and 30 minutes from now. Somebody come do that shit. That shit would be troubling, man.
Deputies found 2 people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost. Drew Wilder, NBC Washington.
Thanks for watching.
She's actually right. She's bad as shit too. She's actually right. And I'm gonna advise all of Ogg Nation. We don't know what happened, but I'm assuming he shot through the door. Do not shoot through the door.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
Tonight, an investigation into a weekend shooting in Spotsylvania County. The entire community is debating the details of the case where 3 teenagers accused of breaking and entering a home on Mackenzie Lane were shot at. 2 of the teens were shot. One of them, a high school senior, killed. Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder explains why this story is drawing so much debate.
Is this the case of a homeowner defending their property legally against potential burglars? Or is this a case of a TikTok prank gone horribly wrong? Maybe it's even a little bit of both. These are the questions prosecutors here at the Spotsylvania County Courthouse are trying to answer tonight. And at the heart of all of this mystery and all of the speculation taking place on social media, a teenager is dead. And his family tells me that their lives feel shattered. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was a senior at Massaponax High School in Spotsy. His stepfather says Michael played lacrosse, football, and he wrestled. But at about 3 a.m. Saturday, just hours before the high school prom later that night, Michael was shot and killed by a homeowner on Mackenzie Lane. The homeowner, who has not been named nor charged with any crime, says Michael and 2 other teens tried to break into their house. News 4 knocked on the door of the home, but no one answered. Tonight, the Spotsylvania County Commonwealth's attorney is reviewing the evidence to determine if charges are appropriate or if this was a justifiable shooting. But here's where this story takes a turn. So there were 3 teens involved. Michael was shot and killed. A second teen, 17 years old, was grazed by a bullet. While that teen was in the hospital, detectives interviewed him. He said, "We weren't breaking in to try to steal anything." He told the detective they were doing ding-dong ditch pranks, recording them as videos. They were going to post them on TikTok. So that detective went and found the third teen that was involved. That teen wasn't shot. He wasn't injured in any way. But that teen had the exact same alibi and even said, "Here, take my cell phone. You'll find a video that we recorded at a different house doing the same prank earlier that night." The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office has not said whether or not that alibi checks out. But of course, we'll let you know as soon as we learn more.
Hendrix in the back, Ock.
The guy can still say, look, man, they ran up and just, like banged on my door. I thought they were breaking through the door. It felt like they were breaking through the door because that alibi is based on trusting them, good faith. You could go burglarize homes and just put a fake ding-dong door ditch in your phone as an alibi. You know what I mean?
Now I feel you, but it doesn't work that way. Home defense does not work that way. Yeah.
I just want to say this. Remember that one black kid? I mean that son kid who got killed by that old glider, and like that glider got charged and then he died. Like I think right after he was sentenced.
No, that kid didn't die. He
No,
survived.
the guy who shot him died. He died in
Died,
prison,
actually. Yeah.
or jail. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. How many sons called for that guy to be tried and sent to jail? But how many of them are going to want this guy to be let go for self-defense?
All of them, 100% of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Details on a tragic story out of Spot.
Like anybody in law enforcement, Mac and Crook, you can't claim you can't claim home defense unless they go through that threshold, right?
So it's dicey. It depends on your jurisdiction.
Yeah,
it depends on your state. My advice to my concealed carry students is that if you believe that someone is trying to kick in your door, first of all, don't go to the door at all.
Call the police.
Call the police. Call 911. Put it on speakerphone. Get a Ring doorbell so you can see that shit. But most importantly, do not fire through the door. Okay, find a spot in your home where you can set up with your gun pointed at that door. And if they're not yelling police, search warrant, fire department, your house is on fire, or Domino's Pizza, we got it hot and ready. If they kick that door in, let them fly.
That's good to hear.
We have new details on a tragic story out of Spotsylvania County. A high schooler is shot and killed during what may have been a social media prank gone wrong. Thank you for joining us. I'm Scott Thuman. That shooting happened during what was first reported as an attempted home burglary this weekend in Spotsylvania County. 7 News' Christian Flores has new details now.
That brother look mean as shit too, man. He look like I wish he'd have took a nicer mugshot. He just looked like just look mean, man.
He did that shit.
Yeah. How many likes do we got, man? Somebody tell me how many likes we got, man. We've been on for like 2.5 hours. How many likes we got? Yeah, this brother though, yeah, he I mean, I could see him being mad. Damn. Let's try to get 200, man. Let's try to get 200 likes, man. Let's see if we can get if everybody who hasn't hit the like button yet can hit the like button. As we get to 200.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna drop down, man. Let's
All
do
right,
a
man.
50. I'm drop down, do a $50 challenge, bro. Bring me back up, all right?
All right, man. Salute.
All right, bet.
Oh, 1 hour and 45 minutes. All right. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, he do look like a dog, like a cartoon dog.
Reported as an attempted home burglary this weekend in Spotsylvania County. 7 News' Christian Flores has new details now and spoke with the teen's classmate.
What was supposed to be a celebration ahead of graduation has instead turned into a somber event. Tuesday night's senior sunset here at Massaponax High School has become a place where students come to grieve after the loss of one of their classmates during this weekend's shooting. And now we have court documents that paint a clearer picture of what might have happened.
It's been very emotional, honestly, because, we graduate next week.
Massaponax High School seniors heartbroken after their classmate, 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr., was shot and killed on Saturday.
He was a very passionate person about stuff, and it's just sad that he had to go the way he did.
One juvenile was not hurt, but another teenager was shot and survived, who's close friends with Kamani Keys.
I went to the hospital that morning, actually, because when I heard one of my closer friends got shot.
Spotsylvania County Sheriff's deputies arrested 27-year-old Tyler Chase Butler, charging him with second-degree murder, among other charges. Detectives say the initial 911 call was for an attempted home burglary that ended with Butler, who lives in the home, opening fire.
The gunshot went to the chest. I'm back to the scene for it.
Yeah, if he's 27, the black dude, he definitely got some fucking felonies or some kind of restrictions on him or something. He might be on probation or parole or something. You can tell the way he looked. He been into some shit.
Was for an attempted home burglary that ended with Butler, who lives in the home, opening fire.
The gunshot went to the chest. I'm back to the scene for an additional subject. A gunshot wound.
7 News on your side obtained the search warrant for the cell phones of the 2 surviving juveniles. They told police they were playing a prank called Ding Dong Ditch, where they ring doorbells and run away. According to court documents, they said they had done this to a few homes, were filming themselves, and planning to post this on TikTok as part of a...
I can believe that, man. You yeah, man, he just did the wrong thing, man. I feel bad for them because, you're young, you do pranks.
He deserved to get beat up, but he didn't deserve to get shot.
Yeah, you said beat up. But in order to beat somebody up, you gotta, like, somebody is banging on your door, you have to go out and then that's a lot of onus on the homeowner. Like, somebody, 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody's kicking your door and shit, and it's like, let me go out here and physically get into a hand-to-hand combat with this guy.
Yeah, but he just deserves to get beat up. Whether the homeowner does it is irrelevant.
Yeah. It's just
hold
on.
3 a.m. like somebody's sleeping, like it's just fucked up.
It's one prank that's going on that they do, man. I'm trying to figure out what it's one prank that they do where they literally, here it go right here.
5 teenagers have been taken into custody in Johnson County after deputies say they kicked and pounded on a person's door and simply ran away.
As Fox 59's Jenny Drasler explains, it's all part of what the Johnson County prosecutor says is a dangerous TikTok challenge.
I spoke to numerous people who live here in the Kensington Grove neighborhood. All of them told me they're angry that this even happened in the first place, and these teens need to think twice before kicking on someone's door.
heard just a loud thud. It wasn't like kicking and banging. It was like they tried to, they kicked in the door. It was one solid, just loud thud.
Chuck Hiles says
Just
on
practicing
February
for
27th,
robbery.
around 6 o'clock at night, he saw and heard 5 teens kicking and banging on his neighbor's door in the Kensington Grove neighborhood in Greenwood. He gave us this surveillance video, which he says showed the teens walking in the neighborhood moments before it happened.
Saw my neighbor take off after him. So we kind of cut through the houses. I followed them and he chased them, 3-4 blocks away, across Stones Crossing, down to Molinex. Lost him in the woods, called the cops. They came and kind of took it from there.
Johnson County Sheriff's officials say the suspects are between 13 and 14 years old. Prosecutor Lance Hamner says what the teens were doing is all part of a viral TikTok challenge called the Door Kick Challenge, a new version of Ding Dong Ditch, except instead of ringing the doorbell, the participants bang and kick on the door and then run away.
If kids think about this, they know that this is knucklehead behavior because common sense tells you this is going to terrify somebody. And when you terrify somebody at their door, there can be something happen back to you.
Hamner says he has no tolerance for this, and the juvenile's actions could carry serious consequences.
It's definitely a trespass. It can be considered an attempted residential entry. That's a felony.
See, it can be considered an attempted residential entry. Now did that son, man, because Virginia has concealed carry, but it doesn't have constitutional carry. So did that son, man, have a license for that gun? They shot them. Did he have a license for that gun? Did he?
And it's a serious situation.
And neighbors.
Sometimes you don't need a license to own a gun. You just need a license to carry it outside of your house. Like in PA. Before I had my license to carry, I was able to buy a gun, but I just if I had to take it to the range or something, I couldn't have it loaded. I have to keep the ammo and gun separate.
Yeah, where are you? Are you in Philly? If you're not in Philly, got different laws than Pennsylvania, though.
Yeah, I'm in Philly.
Yeah, Philly got different laws than Pennsylvania.
And before they take,
yeah, like some places, yeah. But here's the thing: if we got to see that Ring doorbell, man. I wonder if these are black people, so they might not have had a Ring doorbell. But I would suggest everybody get a Ring doorbell or Vivint or something.
they take part in these viral challenges.
Kids don't think anymore, and it's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Somebody is going to get hurt.
The 5 juveniles are expected to appear in court in the coming weeks, and Hamner expects to file juvenile charges later this week.
To I-Team 8 now, a TikTok prank makes its way to central Indiana. Police are calling it dangerous and tonight are sending a warning. There's also concern about possible serious injuries. I-Team 8's Cats.
What's up?
Magnite needs the link to get back in.
He don't have the link? Oh, shit. The link is in the description box. I thought I put it in there, didn't I?
I think it's there.
Okay, yeah. There you go. Yeah. This is I just don't 3 a.m. God damn, playing this game at 3 a.m. in the morning in a like maybe New York City where the majority of people are not gonna have guns, or DC, you know what I mean, where the gun laws are really strict. But you playing this in fucking Virginia or Indiana?
Kat Sandoval talks to a victim.
It's called a kick door challenge, where you kick a stranger's door as hard as you can, film it, and flee the scene. Danville
Did she
police.
say as hard as you can? I gotta clip that. Hold on.
Stranger's door as hard as you can, film door as hard as you can, or 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 as hard as you can, film it and flee the scene. Danville police say these pranks are dangerous, if not deadly.
It's very dangerous. I mean, had I shot through that front door, I don't know who would have got shot.
Rhonda Atkerson said someone kicked down her door around 5 a.m. this summer. Even though it happened in June, you could see a faint footprint left on the door.
And you can see the other one started here.
At that time, her 3 grandchildren were in the house visiting. Her son heard the commotion.
3 hard kicks. He yelled at my grandson, "Tell Mama I'll get her gun." Honest. And then all he heard was crashing and banging.
Danville police said a total of 3 similar incidents happened on East and West Mill Street. Nothing was stolen, no one entered the home, just doors kicked hard in the early morning. One resulted in a broken door latch. Police are warning that homeowners have the right to defend their homes and that 2 of the 3 victims were armed. They say none of the homes had a doorbell camera. No arrests were made and no suspects.
Parents need to know where your children are, especially after dark.
Atkerson says the prank.
That's right, white lady, man. Salute to Mac Knight, man. Shout out to Paul Lawrence, man. Patrick Lawrence, man. Patrick Lawrence in the building, man. Eric S. Sock Nation Hall of Famer coming through once again. He says, as a Sun teen in the mid-90s, we used to put fireworks out of people's houses in the neighborhood around the 4th of July time frame. We later apologized. Yeah, man. Y'all was good kids. Y'all apologize, man. Shout out to Mac Knight once again.
I didn't know the gravity of this situation. So I'm going to retract what I said earlier. I thought they were just, knocking on doors, ringing doors, and running away. Apparently, that's not what's happening. People are kicking doors, and you know the difference between someone knocking on your door and kicking it in.
They said one of the guys broke the door latch. One of the guys, he just said one of the guys one of the kids broke the door latch on the home. That's a hard ass kick, right?
Well, most people don't have very secure doors or door frames. They don't have very secure doors. They don't have very secure door frames. So yeah, it doesn't take much to breach that latch. They're playing a very dangerous game, and free my bro. If that's what happened to him, free him.
Yeah, I think he got arrested because they didn't arrest him until they interviewed all the kids. So it's like, I don't know what, like, I just don't know, man. I think they going by that one video of them doing ding dong ditch, I guess, ringing the bell, and they're like, he got to be able to prove, he got to be able to say, hey, man, they didn't ring my bell, they kicked my door. You know what I'm saying? That's what he got to do. Hopefully he hasn't given a statement yet.
No, this is a new phenomenon. I try to stay up on this stuff, but this is something new, bro.
Yeah, scary, huh? You just kicking. You literally are literally doing this at like fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon is dangerous, man. They doing this shit 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. Look at this.
Think Ding Dong Dash, but for a new generation. The TikTok challenge that involves kicking a front door and running away before the occupants answer plays out over and over again on the social media platform.
TikTok challenge.
But at the same time, terrorizing this quiet Vancouver Island neighborhood.
And you notice all the neighborhoods look like Edward Scissorhands where they do this shit at? None of the neighborhoods look like fucking, you know what I mean, the hood.
Nah, you're not getting away with that in the hood. That's not fucking happening.
That's just appalling. It's just ridiculous. Like, what's happening to us?
Think it's wrong?
Many asking not to be identified for fear of being targeted.
It got to the point where it was frightening. You'd be sitting, in the evening watching the news, and all of a sudden it would sound like the whole door was coming in. And so you'd get up to go, and away they'd be running, giggling and laughing at us.
But last Sunday, Owen May, a resident who did not want to speak on camera, decided enough was enough. He says he and his neighbors had repeatedly reported the incidents to police, but when nothing was done, he set up a tripwire with fishing line under his door. Telling Global News, I got a catch of my lifetime the other night. One of them got tangled in a piece of my fishing line I left outside my door. Then he shared this video.
Nice.
It shows May's wife pouncing on the young man. May says an assault ensued. It's important to note that portion of the video was never shared.
It was brutal, though, to see the violence. So it's just sad to see that this is starting to happen here.
There's no reason for it in this day and age.
May says the altercation landed both he and his wife in hospital. She suffered lacerations to her eyelid. His feet and legs were equally roughed up.
Hang on, the wife?
RCMP were not available for comment, but in an email to May confirmed.
Why you just like she tired of that shit?
Hell yes, man. Shit, where do I find these gliders, bro?
Officers had identified 2 youths involved, writing, "I will be forwarding my report to Crown Counsel with recommendations of charges." But May says he's been made aware he could be facing charges of his own.
He says, "I'm gonna
Section
fuck you up."
247(1) of the Criminal Code of Canada, traps likely to cause bodily harm.
It seems very complex, and so it is going.
I'm sorry, he's getting charged?
Media challenge isn't only terrifying some of the victims in that area.
Huh?
He's getting charged?
Of course he is, man.
For setting up the fishing trap?
Beat the shit out of the kid.
Damn. Well, a social media challenge isn't only terrifying some of the victims in that area. Many are concerned the kids doing it, like you see here in this video, could come close to getting themselves hurt or even worse. Fox 26's Dominique Keith is joining us now live in Friendswood, where police are sending out a warning.
Yeah, several kids here in Friendswood have been caught on camera carrying out what's called the TikTok door knock or door kick challenge. It has everyone from parents to police fearing this could turn deadly if these kids don't cut it out. Recorded wreaking havoc here at area homes while kicking and banging on doors at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
It was scary. It was frightening. It was terrifying.
Some say this TikTok challenge is so dangerous, these kids have been fortunate so far to have only been caught by cameras and not by
Damn, look at how many
homeowners.
times he kicked that door with the base of his foot. That's like 10 kicks, man.
So it's like 1 a.m. right
Been
now.
Caught by cameras and not by homeowners.
There has been reports of where they kicked so hard that they actually have kicked the door in and caused damage.
And I didn't know whether a bomb had gone off or what had hit my home. It's totally broken from its base.
Man.
It wasn't an explosion that ripped through 77-year-old Gwen's door frame in Seabrook. It was kids carrying out this foolish challenge.
When all of a sudden I heard this boom, boom, and the front wall, the door, everything shook. And I looked up and kids running past my window. And a lady pulled up.
My thing about this, man, is a black kid get killed by a white homeowner, and this shit is going to be, this shit is going to be seen so, this is going to go so crazy if a black kid does this and gets killed by a white homeowner. That's what it's going to take.
Too much documentation, bro. Too much documentation.
No. Everything is too much documentation. Crime, carjackings, fucking stealing cars and hopping out and running with the gun. All them black people are on that father's side, and all the black people are talking about something. He didn't point the gun at the officer. He didn't even point the gun at the officer. Like, come on, man, McNay, come on, man. If a black kid get killed by a white homeowner doing this shit, it's gonna be a problem.
Oh, everything shook. And I looked up and I saw kids running past my window.
It's always a
and
problem.
a lady pulled up in her car and she said, "Did you just get your door kicked in?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, so did I."
Her son actually caught the kids.
He's an ex-military, licensed to carry a weapon, and apparently gave them a pep talk.
This is a very dangerous game, very dangerous game.
Fort Bend County Constable Chief Deputy Jimmy Evans isn't the only law enforcement fearing this dangerous take on a ding-dong ditch. The Friendswood Police Department released these 2 videos of teen boys banging on doors in the wee hours of the morning here. In a different state, one man set up a trap using fishing line.
And his wife ran out and was actually able to jump on top of the kid and held him until law enforcement arrived.
Hell yeah,
I'm
she was
afraid
about that
a
action.
homeowner may think that someone is trying to burglarize their residence, and some innocent kid is shot or killed or seriously injured.
I would tell them, stop it before they get hurt or
Quit
they
it.
hurt somebody.
Well, he's not innocent though.
And because of this challenge, it will now cost $2,500 to fix 77-year-old Gwen's door. Now, police hope you will take this time to talk with your kids, explain how dangerous and foolish this is, and tell them not to do it before it costs someone their life. Reporting live, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
The crazy part about that is most of these Ring doorbells, they have motion sensors, right? So if you're in a certain range and it picks you up, if I see like 3 YNs or whoever coming towards my door, and then all of a sudden I hear a fucking kick, like nah, bro, yeah, this is really dangerous.
Yeah, it's gonna. They picked the right neighborhoods. They always pick those cookie cutter suburban neighborhoods, though, where people are probably less aggressive and less, even though they may have guns, they're less. You know what I mean? Just probably older people or people who own stuff and people who have made different decisions, less repulsive decisions, and less rash decisions. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. All right, man. I'm out, man. Good show, bro. Holla at you.
Salute to you, bro. Take it easy, man. This is what was I trying to do? Oh yeah.
The word that she used. So I've been getting heat from the
Shout out
EBT
Cinema
community about
Shogun.
my thoughts on the Shiloh calling that 5-year-old they claim, which has never been confirmed. Black kid. The word that she used. Let me just be perfectly clear with y'all. Some of you should be called names. They saying like, John, why you support bullying of a child? Yes. Where the parents at? No one's asking, where are the parents? Why is this dude the one defending this child? Where's the parents? Why is this kid there unaccompanied? None of that. They don't ask the important questions. They just outraged. The word hurt so bad. He's being bullied. No, he was probably the bully. And she stepped in and called him a name. Now, while I don't have any sympathy for the child, because sometimes kids act bad. Where are the parents?
Look, let's just be completely honest here, because that's what we do on this channel. This whole Shiloh Hendrix situation is starting to get kind of weird, if you ask me. And every second, every minute, every hour, every day that passes by without this family of this 5-year-old Black autistic child coming forward, the story gets...
I said that 3 days ago, guys. Remember?
It's all lies.
The family? Oh, you think it's a psyop or some shit like that? Like the federal government and put this shit on?
No, it's just sons lying.
Oh, okay. The son's lying. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like it was
and hiding. They don't usually hide.
Yeah, because I mean, if you got a 5-year-old autistic kid who's been called the N-word by a woman who just got $700,000,
that's a gold mine. What are you doing?
You can, and the NAACP put up its own GoFundMe.
They'll pay you.
Got $300,000. Where are you on your world tour? Robin Roberts, Michael Strahan, fucking goddamn The View. Everybody. You should be on every show with your little baby and shit. Let him run around and shit. And oh, he's so cute. And you know what I'm saying? And shit, you know what I'm saying? And have them on there doing, autistic stuff. You know how like autistic kids are. They just,
Spazzing out.
No, not even just like he just being like normal. I lived next door to a autistic kid, man. They just, you can tell they're autistic. They don't necessarily just spaz out. They just, you gotta hold them. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like she could be sitting there with laugh, hold them, and people could see how could someone call this kid? You're gonna if she sits there with that 5-year-old autistic kid on her lap and does an interview, people gonna be like, how? Someone called him a nigger and then double down on it. Where's the GoFundMe? I want to donate right this second, because you got to understand, man. It's challenging to deal with an autistic kid, man. It's very challenging. Every second is challenging. So it's like she could show that she could humanize themselves. They could, she could be like she could run for fucking city council in a couple of years, man. Where is she? Like, no, where's the father? Well, it's a black kid, but still, we saw the father of the other black kid come kill the cop. So where's the father?
Plotting murder.
Yeah, it's just odd, man. It's so fucking odd, man.
It's even weirder. Days and days have gone by, ladies and gentlemen. Still no word from this family of this 5-year-old black autistic child. Now, if you look at the video footage, it doesn't show everything. It doesn't give you a 100% accurate, clear picture as to what exactly was going on at the park that day. But from the footage, it appears that Shiloh and the predator that was filming her, it seems like they're like the only adults at the park, at least in that little section of the park. And when you watch
I did see one woman with a hijab on, a burqa. She had a burqa on. There was one woman with a burqa on that was there. But I think she's the most, I don't think she's the little kids. That little kid looked like a little black kid. That little kid did not look like a little Somalian kid to me either. That little kid looked like a little black kid, little West African ancestry kid. He didn't look like them Somalian kids. They just look different. Ethiopians, Eritreans, Somalians, you can just tell them. They're like Asians, where you just look at them for half a second and you can tell.
The interview that they did with the predator Somalian, he says that he felt like
right there. There's nobody on the planet Earth that looks at him and doesn't know he's either Ethiopian, Somalian, or Eritrean. Press 1. Salute to Boy Kachina, Chinese TikTok. Give him that pepper spray stop. Merch idea, door frame, and lock screws that are a little long. They can charge you with that. If you put a booby trap out and one of them kids get hurt, you get charged with it. Let's see. He said cheap and easy to replace screws and hinges and locks with longer ones, and it's much harder to kick in the door. Okay. Maybe they can do that, but most people ain't gonna do something for something that might happen. That's a lot of stuff to do for some dumbass kids that might do something. Salute the bug off, man. Gifting 10 Ock Nation memberships. Yeah, this guy right here, man. He can only be from 3 countries: Somalia, Ethiopia, or Eritrea.
I'm going with Eritrea.
He can't be from nowhere else. I would say Somali. I think they already confirmed he's Somali. But this motherfucker, that kid did not look Somali. That kid looked like a fucking. He's from fucking Detroit.
He had to step up and say something because basically there was no one else there to do so, right? Which lets you know that whoever this kid is, his parents weren't there. His parents were not there watching him. But apparently, some Somalian predator that is accused of doing things with underage people, he was watching the kid. So, I mean, the story just keeps getting weirder the longer this story drags out without the parents coming forward. Because you have to remember, folks, there was a GoFundMe created for this autistic child that raised over $300,000 and then just simply kind of went away.
Oh, shit.
The NAACP organized this fundraiser and then claimed, oh, the family said they're done. They don't need any more money. And they basically just closed it down. And I think it got closed down because the NAACP got exposed for using fake photos of a child that was a stock photo from Google. And they used the photo as if it was a photo of the actual child in question. But still, to this day, we've never seen this kid. Now, the predator that was filming, he showed a kid in the video, which I'm assuming was the kid he was talking about. But the kid he showed in the video had to be at least like 11 years old.
Thank you.
So I don't know, something is really weird here. It's really weird. Because it's almost like not only is the child not 5 years old and autistic, but it almost feels like or seems like the parents don't really exist. And if they do, there's something that they're hiding here.
Probably just on
Now,
drugs.
a lot of people have been questioning, was this kid really in on a scheme where he goes around stealing stuff and then they claim he's autistic if he gets caught? Was the kid in on a scheme with the Somalian cameraman? Was he going around and stealing stuff out of people's bags? And then the cameraman overreacts?
I can't believe you just said that, KB, man. I can't believe you just said that. That was literally the fucking craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. That motherfucker said the parents are probably on drugs.
Would be the obvious answer.
If the parents are on drugs, you don't think they would want to fucking cash in on this shit?
Could be smarter than that to show their faces.
You know how much drugs you can get? Look at that kid. That kid is not 5. And no, I got a 4-year-old. I go pick my
That's a
daughter
son
up to
teen.
school every day. That kid ain't in no way, shape, or form.
That kid's gonna carjack you.
Yeah, that kid is not. That kid ain't 5. This is the reason why I think no one's come forward. Because now you have to produce a 5-year-old. And that 5-year-old has to be autistic. And you can't, they can't. Somebody got to produce a 5-year-old autistic kid. And the kid got to look like that.
It ain't
Come up
happening.
with no light-skinned kid and shit. No curly-haired kid. You got to come up with a little fucking, with no fat kid. You got to come up with a kid that look like this, that's 5 years old and autistic.
Super shady though. The fact that this cameraman is in the mix is just a predator.
let me. I blacked out my screen. Blacked out. Hold on. Let me come back up. Yeah, man. I mean, come on, man. Let's cut the bullshit, man. Let's cut the bullshit, man. This kid right here was probably she was probably over there playing with her little 18-month-old. This little kid probably snuck around and tried to steal some shit. Because I'm at the playground a lot with my daughter, right? And there's always other parents. There's au pairs. I don't know if y'all know what an au pair is. That's like a nanny and shit for you, usually like an African or a fucking Central American woman that watch the people kids, right? So I'm at the playground all the time. Parents, au pairs, all that shit there, right? And yo, like if a little kid go in your bag, people don't react like that. That kid must have been like stealing, because people would just be like, you know what I'm saying? People would just be like, oh no, like ain't nobody just gonna be calling no fucking kid no nigga, man. It ain't that type of party at the playground, man. It ain't that type of party at the playground. That woman, that kid must have been like doing something egregious, man. It ain't that vibe at the playground. Everybody just chasing their little kid around. Everybody polite. Most of what I have is Boone Sheikah. She come up there with her badass kids, and they like hitting people or taking people toys. But that's like the worst thing that might happen. You know what I'm saying? Boone Sheikah and her kids and shit. And if it ain't no other Boone Sheikah there, most times it won't be nothing bad. The only time it'll really like could turn up is if it's another Boone Sheikah to match that Boone Sheikah's energy. When her kid takes somebody's toy, don't be taking that. You know what I'm saying? It gotta be that. But 99% of the time, there's no negative energy at the fucking playground, man. And I'm talking about Pennsylvania, DC. Y'all know how much I travel everywhere. Nashville, fucking Colorado. It just doesn't matter, man. It ain't that type of party, man. At the playground, man. Something happened where this little motherfucker was like probably like stealing. And she
I
called
think
me.
this kid was I don't think anyone was watching this kid. He's probably like 11, 12 years old, just at the playground stealing shit.
By himself.
Just being a
like
little son.
When we were young, we would go to the playground by ourselves. We never like 7 years old. I walked to school by myself, like fucking 10, 20 blocks away. I caught the train by myself. I had a fucking key or a shoestring with a key around my neck and shit. And this was when I was like 7, 8 years old. Way younger than this kid. Come to the playground with your mother in the fucking DC? You kidding me? You gotta come to people will look at you like, what the fuck? Look at you, like 3? Like, like.
Well, that's why they said he was 5.
Yeah, that kid. Yeah, this kid wasn't. There's no parents. This kid was up there by himself. I'm convinced.
So is anybody determined?
There's nobody's come forward.
Is anybody determined whether he was actually 5 or older?
There's no way to.
You can determine by looking at the photo.
I know. Yeah, that's what's funny about it, because that's obviously what she was reacting to, was the fact that he was old enough to know better. That's what pissed her off, on top of being probably a racist also, which bless her heart. But yeah, she probably seen the kid was old enough. But I got in because I wanted to jump in on the last issue. I must
Who
have
is
missed
this? Is this the dude from Chaotic Channel?
it. Yes, and yes.
What's up? What's going on? What's
CT.
Yeah. I missed the end of the I wanted to say something on the door kick. Can I right quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, good. Hey Whitey, things are getting tense, you stupid white son of a bitches. Whites are sick of blacks. Blacks have been pissing and moaning for crazy shit for so long. Whites are sick of them. Guess what? I think the kid that got shot at the house, it'll help Whitey along to understand this ain't kid stuff. Don't send your white stupid kids out to doing shit that other black kids are doing in general. Yeah, so you may want to like educate them. It's like because you won't hear any white people saying anything about this other than like what the one guy said in the car. He said, play stupid games, play stupid prizes, win stupid prizes. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's like, oh, the white kid got shot, too fucking bad. Guess what? White people, we're up against something here. Catch on to it. Learn.
Now, when I see you over there on Chaotic, man, sometimes you seem like you're on the kind of like on the liberal side. You know what I'm saying? Have you gotten sun fatigue?
No.
Go ahead.
No, I'm a socialist that's been sick of blacks for years.
Okay, so you've
I'm
had
not-
fatigue
yeah.
for a while. You've had fatigue
The blacks
for a
are all
long time.
socialists, though. So
Yeah,
you
no,
have
they're
that
not.
common with them.
No, they're not. They're all blue-haired liberal idiots that are pissing and moaning about nothing. The old-time socialists are pro-healthcare, pro-housing, and all that good shit. They're not about, and they love their guns. Old socialists love their guns. I'm a pro-collective funding of human dignity, as opposed to being a blue-haired liberal. And conservatives are fucking idiots, and libertarians are even bigger idiots. But anyway, I'm just saying.
What? Yeah, good.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying. Look, it's a horrible development, but it's very teachable, as they say. Whitey, we're up against something. Yeah, your kids don't get to go around doing stupid shit because whites do not have your back like blacks have the back of their fools, and this is what's going to come out.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And white parents are going to forgive, and the black father. Look at the Austin Metcalf father. He forgave literally 5 minutes after it happened. Because remember they interviewed him. It was like this. It was like an hour later, and he was on there like, I forgive. The nobody from the Carmelo family ever asked for forgiveness.
He wanted to make peace.
Right. The black father whose son carjacked somebody, took the police on a wild chase, hopped out of the car with a gun, dropped the gun during the foot chase, picked the gun back up and popped from behind a goddamn dumpster on the cop. That father went and killed another cop. And he
emboldened, to say the least.
So you got two fathers. The white father and the black father, and it's just completely different reactions, man.
Well, let me not be mistaken for siding with that stupid idiot that apologized for the Metcalf shit. I'm saying what Whitey isn't going to do is we're going to say good riddance, stupid white fucking idiot. Good riddance. Nobody's needing.
That's what you're supposed to say.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what we need to do.
You stand with the. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's what this is going to move forward. This is going to prove to black people. See how this is done when your people act like fucking idiots? Yeah, you don't prop them up. You say good riddance, and that's what.
So you think blacks are going to learn from that?
I think it'll be an example. I mean, if you see a white kid that really didn't deserve to be shot, but he got close enough to the boundary line and they got his fucking head blown off, and the whites are saying, well, too bad, white boy. The blacks will learn that whites aren't about, in other words, we're consistent. In other words, we're asking for people to stop acting like animals, and when our own acts like animals, we condemn it. And this is a very good moment right here. I hope it expands into that. I really do.
Yeah, I just don't. I I think you have like a baseline fundamental lack of understanding of what you're dealing with. When you think about like black people.
My hope.
And listen, man, I'm a black person, and I don't like to be on here talking bad about black people. But as far as when you talk about
Yeah, it
like
must suck,
collectively,
legitimately, Ak.
collectively learning something from one incident where their
Oh.
life, black people we almost have to be like our life have to be on the line to learn something.
I didn't.
It has to be the specter of death or something like that.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean this is going to change things overnight or nothing. I'm just saying it's going to be an example that whites can point to. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be very valuable. We can point to this. We don't care. We're not sitting there rushing to the side of this poor little white guy that got his face blown off for messing with somebody's fucking house. No, I don't think it's going to change the world, Doc. Not at all. I'm not saying that. And I fully agree with you. There's blacks that will ignore this. I call it the 70% of blacks that are fucking psychopaths. But yeah, no, they're going to ignore everything about it. I'm just saying the beauty of this, and yes, I'm using the word, the fucking beauty of this is to whites get to show their consistency. Hey, white kid, don't fuck around with people's house. And that's all I'm saying the value of this is. Because you will not see white people going, well, did he have to shoot him?
Yeah, I want you to watch this, and I want
My hope was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
Okay,
he's a
so
whack.
Mr. Metcalf, it's JFF and then METCALF. You are Austin's father.
Yes, sir.
Easy question to start with. It's probably a tough one to answer, but how have the last 24 hours been for you and for your family and for Hunter?
See, this is after it just happened. It just happened when they interview.
That's 3 questions. So for me, it's not real yet. It hasn't sunk in. I'm just happy to stay strong so we can handle all the things that need to be handled. Arrangements, people flying in, people coming from all over. So I haven't had a chance to really grieve yet. I know at some point when this is all over and we're able to put him in the ground, then I'll probably break down and grieve that way.
How long
right
after?
now, I'm really numb and I really don't feel.
This is 24 hours, less than 24
Yeah,
hours.
this guy has has a problem. He has a mental problem. No normal person would be out there talking like that about their son that just died if he loved him. Number one, he'd be much considering all the things considered. That guy would be saying probably my son was a dumbass, but what the hell just took place here? He's not that he's out here doing this and that calm and with it. Yeah, there's something real.
This is the kid who got stabbed to death.
Yeah, I know it. I'm saying this guy right here, there's something real creepy about him that he's acting like this so soon afterwards to something like that. What I'm saying is, it doesn't make any sense for this guy to be out there. Not only is he making whites look like dumbasses, he's a disgusting human being himself. Any father 24 hours, most of the time, I don't know. It seems like they would go, I don't have any comments. I just don't want to say anything right now.
But I think what he was trying to do was initially, I think because he knew because of what happened, that it was going to be a racial firestorm.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to put it out. He's trying to be a good white. You know how you're white, right? You know how y'all try to be like, y'all try to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all have a thing about trying to be on the right side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most like people don't give a shit. You know, they're more selfish or they more care about like what benefits them. But like white people have that thing called altruism, where it's like, you know, they try to be altruistic. And I think he was trying to be too altruistic. You know what I mean?
That's why I say he's got a mental problem. He went overboard. He's a blue-haired liberal. He's got a mental problem. He's not even thinking straight. As sick as conservatives make me, at least a real conservative would be more realistic with the fact that the real conservative would probably say, I'd like to get a hold of the little motherfucker and kill him myself now. because he killed my son for very little reason. I'd like to kill the little bastard. This guy's out there apologizing. This guy should have spoke of black-white relations. If he took advantage of it, he said, do you see how sick fucking people are of black people, that when this happens, people don't even know which way to turn because it's all so screwed up, because there's only one group of people in this fucking country that's fucking everything up, and it's black people to this extent. No, this guy could have said,
that makes him a target.
Yeah, but that wasn't his goal. That wasn't.
I know that. I understand that. I'm saying if he was normal, that would have been something he would have said. That's why I'm saying this guy has severe mental problems. It's obvious. He's a blue-haired liberal, and they're nuts. They don't think straight about anything. They're too worried about agenda.
And I need to be there for my son and my family, and I need to make sure I set an example for my son.
Austin obviously is the son, and also Hunter, who you're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through who Austin was to you. I know that you've said so much about him, I think, in the last 24 hours here. Everyone else has said a lot about him, too, about how great of a kid he was. In your eyes, though, just as a father, who was
bully?
he?
My boys are the biggest blessing in my life. God provided them to me. God's going to get me through this. I had a dream last night. And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace. So one of the things, my son, Hunter, his ability to stay strong is a character to his brother. His brother, they had each other's back. They were tight. I've never seen a bond like that. Being identical twins, technically Austin was his big brother. Those boys were my everything. I had cancer almost 10 years ago. I wasn't supposed to live, but that was my why, to fight.
Shut the
And without
fuck up.
those boys, I probably would have succumbed and gave in. But they were in my heart, and I fought hard because I wanted to be their father. I wanted to be there for them throughout the years they grow up, and so I can share my wisdom and share my mistakes so they won't do the same. Austin
Didn't share enough.
was an outstanding athlete, person, friend, loyal, loving. He would light up the room. He was such a leader naturally. On that team, he would fire those guys up. He would step on that field and he would become a totally different person. His level of play was above most everyone else. He led the team. He was voted team MVP by his coaches and teammates. He's had multiple coaches, colleges contact him. He is one of the most outstanding. Him and his brother both have been athletes all their lives, from soccer to baseball to jiu-jitsu to football. They did.
Jiu-jitsu. The Carmelo family might use that.
What they do? Give this talking about light up the room and everything. What they do? Give this guy the black script for a news interview or something?
He had deadly force.
This stupid son of a bitch. He's fucking sickening, man. This guy is fucking enough to make you sick.
That's crazy.
And I understand. I understand. He doesn't need to be venomous. I get that. But to be this all sweetsy and sugary, this is a sick son of a bitch. Just look. Any father would want revenge. Just okay. Don't get on the news and say it. Just keep to yourself and cool down, simmer, get it out of your system. Don't go on news belittling white people like this filthy fucking bastard.
Yeah, and he got rewarded for his kindness.
They did it all.
Go off, man.
And they excelled every time. And I told them, you guys are so lucky because not everyone has your talent, but you have to make sure you take that talent and harness it in the right way. And Austin was able to harness many things in his life. Loyalty to his brother.
Too bad you can't
His
harness some
love
white
for
appreciation
all his
for your
friends
fucking
and
race,
family.
you idiot.
He was such an outstanding young man. I was so proud. I bragged on my children all the time. Anyone who knows me knows how much my kids meant to me. They were my entire world. My world's a little shattered. but I still have Hunter, and I always have Austin.
I know that the last day has just been gut-wrenching for you and your family. You've spoken, obviously, to a couple of other outlets. I know Hunter's leaving. Do you need to say goodbye? Or?
No, I told him we're good.
Okay. We haven't really had a chance to talk to you about this. You had mentioned a few times that you had forgiven the suspect for what
correct.
He did.
I do.
But we just informed you about these documents. And
that doesn't change anything. This has to do with me
Nothing
and God.
will.
God teaches us in the Bible. He talks about forgiveness. He also talks about revenge. Not for me to seek. God will take care of it. Karma, I believe in it. It's very unfortunate that this other child decided.
Wonder if he would have said, I wish the little black bastard would find an oak tree at 80 miles an hour if they would have let that go through. You know?
This is a good example of glider DNA keeping
Oh,
them
yeah.
from seeing
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, I don't
Because
think it's
this
DNA.
man's kin was just murdered.
This isn't
And
DNA.
he still can't see the truth.
No, this isn't DNA. This is corporate media manipulation of our society. This isn't DNA for whites. By far most whites are thinking, most whites are sick to their fucking stomach and they know what happened was wrong. And however, do we even know it was wrong? Like maybe the fucking kid was actually bullying the black kid. I don't know. Nobody even knows for sure. Because my motto is don't put your fucking hands on somebody, dumbass.
Nobody was bullying.
We don't know that. We don't know it.
Here's the thing. Were you in school? When you were in school, was it common for black kids like Carmelo that are like, popular and stuff, and just kind of hanging out with the typical black kids to be getting bullied by a 4.0 student from another school, white kid from another school?
Hell no, man. Whites stopped bullying people after Malcolm X said we ain't playing any fucking more. That's when whites stopped bullying blacks. Malcolm X set them straight. Who are we shitting here? I'm 70 years old. I'll guarantee you, goddammit, I'll tell you what. Number one, when blacks said enough's enough, whites understood it because they knew they were in the wrong. And they understood it. No, there ain't no fucking way that white person was going to do something to get it. And I'm just saying it out of speculation. There ain't no way that white kid did something to get himself stabbed. However, again, there are white kids that are out of their fucking minds. He might have been doing something, but I don't think he was. But yeah, no, there's no white kids that are going to bully a black kid. Not at all. It's
another school. Like they're going to bully not even a black kid in their school. Like they're gonna go to another school and bully a black kid from another school.
Yeah, that's even more absurd. Yeah, it's even more absurd. The whole thing is it's a joke. I'm glad all this happened. I hate to see people die, but you know what? Hey, Whitey, we're up against something. Blacks are out to fucking take this. The blacks are being used as a weapon by the corporate media to take this fucking culture down. Hello, Whitey. Guess who the corporate media is focusing on as the bad guy? You. You may want to stop being such a goddamn pushover.
So here's the thing. Now, when you talk about bullying, right? Like what do you let's just go with your premise that, right? You think that like the bullying aspect is up in the air, right? It could be or could not be, right?
Yeah.
Both when you do you think that the precedent of pushing and shoving between teenage boys, setting that precedent that, hey man, high school pushing and shoving, hey man, if if one pulls out a knife and kills the other one, that's a self-defense case. Do you think that that's a dangerous precedent to set?
It's a real slippery slope.
Pushing and shoving goes on in high school.
Yeah, it's a horrible slippery slope. But seeing how the intensity of the black attack on American culture, the intensity of that, it's a slippery slope that I don't see the harm getting on. Just leave your fucking hands off everybody, and then from that you can leave your fucking mouths off everybody, and we can just like understand it. Whites are real sick of you fucking people. You know, that's where whites need to get. Not that we're gonna, no segregation, no by law or nothing. Nobody's gonna say, oh, let's stop, and go back to Jim Crow. To hell with all that shit. What I'm saying is whites need to understand that we've got a right to go, excuse me, you fucking people as a culture are out of your fucking minds. Could you please stay away from us? And we have a right to do that in a very succinct manner. And that's why I say this is all kind of positive. Yeah, it's a slippery slope, pushing and shoving. Right. Yeah, I would tell I even said to white women on my stream with that Shiloh shit, white ladies, you're no match for black women. They'll beat your motherfucking ass. In the future now, you watch your fucking mouth and don't be stupid, because just keep your head on a swivel, because black women are insane. They're now looking for a reason to knock your asses into pieces. So I'm saying it's like, and white women shouldn't be out there doing it anyway. I'm surprised why wasn't it a white man that did that?
Black women are going to try and fight me?
What's that? But so it's just a matter of the I think it's a
I asked if some women are gonna try and fight me.
Not you, a white woman. I'm saying
Holy
a white
shit,
woman,
dude.
Yeah, white women are gonna have to be very careful after this. Black women are gonna look for revenge on her calling that supposed little 5-year-old the N-word.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad that now they calling you a lot of names in the chat. Are you seeing that?
Oh no.
Okay.
That's okay.
They think you. Yeah, I think they don't think you're hardcore enough. But I think you pretty hardcore. I mean, there's some things that about you about the things you said that are kind of like red flags. But I think that I don't think that this guy's an infiltrator or anything like that.
No, they're calling me an infiltrator?
Yeah.
Shit, Ak is one of my heroes, man. Are you folks kidding me? Who in the fuck out here doing this? You got CT, John Galt, and Ak Nation. Who in the hell, what 3 black men are out here making Whitey understand what the fuck they're up against, other than as well as these 3 men are doing it? I defy anybody to point that out. Shit, an infiltrator. Give me a break, man. If I was a rich man, I'd be popping you a bunch of goddamn money. You, CT, and John Galt.
Salute, man. Let's see this video. The counter. Oh my God. And listen, those Antifa, I've been to several of these things, as you all know. Those Antifa kids are all pussies. Like, they're all rich kids that dress up in cosplay on the weekend and do that shit. Like, none of them that look like this. They have broad shoulders and muscle tissue and shit. They're all fucking pussies. Or skinny, soft tissue, weirdos, oddly shaped. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
like they're not this.
That's why I say they're the equivalent of the black woman that turns herself into a beast, unattractive beast that nobody wants, and they're pissed off. Antifa are white people that nobody wants, and they're pissed off. It's the same thing. They're all rejects from the opposite sex, whether they're females or males, or rejects. And so they find unity in each other's misery, and they got to get against the people that are rejecting them. People just don't take reject very well anymore. And thank you for black women for starting that out, because black women should understand when they make themselves into 200-pound ogres that nobody wants them. But black women are the ones that said it don't matter. You got to think of us as attractive. Antifa is the same thing, same principle, same rejection of society, rejection of the opposite sex, rejection for romance, and it all boils down to they're pissed off at the world and they want to get even with people that have regular lives and can probably get attention from the opposite sex. Yeah, Antifa is something to behold. And right quick, let me say this for somebody thinking I'm a socialist. We're all socialists, sir. I guarantee you in the debate, I would prove that you're one also. This is what makes me sick about this isms. But sorry about that. Go ahead.
if these guys start showing up to these marches and shit, I think Antifa's membership is gonna fucking dwindle, man, because
it looks like WWF or some shit.
They're not used to like when you go to these things, because it's kind of like what they do is even if there's oath keepers there or not, and it's just cops, they kind of like create a perimeter and let the Antifa just basically throw shit at the whatever right leaning group is there, whatever,
Sure.
the KKK, whether it's Unite the Right, whether it's whatever. They just let Antifa, they close it in, they create a closed in place, and they let Antifa just throw bottles and they what I'm saying, and just throw shit and hit them with like sticks and shit like this, and then like run up on them. It's basically like a enclosed battle. So like if these guys start showing up, guys that look like this, it's gonna be tough for Antifa because they can't.
I would prefer that if these guys show up, that they stay calmer. Though they make it, don't join in on them. Just stand there and make Antifa afraid of them, rather than actually, because the news media. Because you got a fella on here named Fisherman, I get a kick out of. There's nothing about Antifa. I don't know who agrees. Probably most agree. We all know Antifa is an engineered into existence organization. This isn't grassroots. Antifa is paid for, financed, and set up just like orchestrated into existence. Okay, we all know that. So that's why I say when it comes to these guys confronting Antifa, they need to be careful, because the same people that engineer Antifa into existence are going to be looking for everything wrong that these people do, and then that's going to come down on the white agenda for moving forward with a reasonable and a logical utterance to say, black people, shut your fucking mouths, we're sick of you. That's where we're at, and that's what we don't need to blow that. We need to do that very carefully now, because the attention is now on whiteys having the right to say, shut your fucking mouth, you black people are tearing up the country, and no, we don't want to fucking live around you, and no, we don't want to fucking work around you. You make us sick. But you got to do that in a real decent way, because the corporate media is going to twist that, and they're going to destroy that momentum, and other whites will drop off. If these whites do it right, I'm saying they could get a lot more followers.
So why are you walking up on me?
Public street, dude.
Oh, it is public. So why are you walking?
Go ahead, video it.
Why are you walking up on me though?
Get out the neighborhood, dude.
I'm getting out the neighborhood, but why are you walking up on me? You gonna wait?
First of all, I don't like black people.
I mean, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
Have a nice day.
I'll have one. Just don't walk up on me. I told you that. Don't do it.
What you gonna do?
Don't do it.
Oh, no, do it?
Don't do it. Yes. Nah, I'm already good, but you just stay where you at. All right. Have a good day.
What amazes me is black people don't understand their part that they play in making these people. Because this guy, okay, he don't like black people, but black people will not admit the part that they play as a whole, the 70% of their black American people, in making people sick of them. It's like, oh, you're sick of us for no reason. It's like, it's amazing to me. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It begins when you affront on them.
Yeah. Well, you know the old saying, you know, they'll kick you, they'll cry out in pain. Black person will cry out in pain as they kick you right in the fucking teeth. You know who that saying's from, but it applies to black people also.
Be brave. The issue is sons don't know that they're doing anything wrong. They're just being sons.
No, they know what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what they're doing wrong. I don't buy that shit. I don't care. That's
sons are just
what they're doing. Look, you got to understand. We got to be bold enough to understand it. With the number of low IQ black people that are being birthed, this is about psychopathy. Low IQ people are very easily nurtured into psychopaths. That's what this whole black American culture is about now. You got too many fat black women having sex with the goddamn least of their race, and they're making millions, hundreds of thousands of low IQ kids. That's where this is coming from, but we can't talk about that. Look at the inner city schools. Look at that shit.
Right. And listen, psychopathy is not necessary, just for the layman's. It's not necessarily mean you're just gonna go out like Norman Bates or anything, but psychopathy is like lack of empathy.
Yes.
You know, you can't understand other things that other people may be going through when you do something. It's just kind of like sociopathy too. Like it's a lot of black people are sociopaths and psychopaths, just by nature.
I like the word psychopath because it's very true. I always make it a point on my stream. There's nonviolent psychopaths, folks. I like the word psychopath over sociopath because sociopath that's too watered down. Psychopath drives the point home because psychopath is a word that we all know to be very, very harsh. And if we get the fact that it's not always violent, the word psychopath still applies because that's what you got in the black culture, psychopathy. These fucking people, nothing matters but what's in their own fucking head. Any panel of psychologists would sit down and diagnose pick a random black person, listen to what they utter, their opinions about life. Boom, they're a fucking psychopath. Boom. Yeah. It's not complicated. And they're raising kids.
I agree that I definitely agree with that. I'm just saying that, like I said, a lot of people who don't really understand, they might think that you're saying like Norman Bates or fucking Charles Manson or something, and it's not, and it doesn't have to be all of that. It could just be like the type of person that like would see like that 5-year-old kid, autistic kid, gunned down in front of them, and the police would ask, you know, hey, did you see anything? And they'd be like, no, and then 2 seconds later, hear about the white lady who called a 5-year-old autistic kid a bad word at a playground, and then completely lose their head over it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why on my stream my agenda is to put psychopathy in the proper text, because we got to take it out of the severe violence and bring it into the reality of what it is. And you know, and again, look at the people that will say, and I don't blame no snitching. I don't blame them. I wouldn't snitch if the fucking police ain't going to come down there and confront the animals. And if it was my mother stuck in a low income neighborhood, I would tell my mother, don't you say a damn thing. I don't care what you saw. The police aren't going to protect you. And these black kids are fucking nuts. They're killers. Mom, don't push it. Don't push it. So I don't blame people for not snitching though. But what you're saying, Rock, is true, because not only are they not snitching, it's the excuses they make that go from the black kid to now the white woman's all able to be villainized or vilified, and yet the black kid's a little angel. I get what you're saying. That's very true. But just to make clear on my position, I don't snitch. Don't snitch. If the police aren't going to take care of it, and the corporate media / what I call the global corporate machine is going to use the blacks as a weapon, you can't get in the way of that. Don't snitch.
Well,
if you live among them, don't snitch.
Do you think it's the police not taking care
Do
of it?
Whoever benefits you the most.
What's that?
Do you think it's the police not taking care of it, or the prosecutors and the judges not taking care of it?
Oh, of course, it starts with the prosecutors and the judges, but the police's hands are tied also with their tactics. And there's a lot of, and you know, of course, and there's not near enough police on the street. There should be 3 times as many police now, considering what's going on in the inner cities. But so yeah, it's police presence more than it is district attorney and prosecutors, because you know, and I understand you're correct. If you let somebody out after 20 times, the fact that that's not pointed out is obviously that's why I'm saying this isn't complicated. This isn't stupidity. This is engineered destruction. Just the DAs and the prosecutors and who's funding them. But yeah, no, the police is the society's first step. The police is the society's first line of defense. So that the police aren't being used, I'm not blaming the police. What I'm saying is, I should have restated it. If we as a society cannot use our police to deal with these animals that will shoot you, don't snitch. Don't snitch, because our society, our police, their hands are tied. They're tied by design. don't go up against that locomotive going down the tracks. Don't snitch. So I'm not blaming the police, but I'm saying, yeah.
Let me just show you this, man.
Okay.
And make sure you hit the like button. Shout out to D from Boston, man. D from Boston in the building. Salute to David DeHart. He says videos show all the ways Somalis scam the government for money. James O'Keefe caught them doing ballot fraud in 2020. Michigan has 65,000 of them. Why votes? Okay. Yeah, I still don't think
that must be their little organized crime.
Yeah, I don't think that incident was orchestrated. I think that incident
was clever for Sons.
Was organic. But I want to show you this.
Oh, quick. I'm sorry. Right quick. If it is a scam, it's one of the most valuable scams that's come down the pike in a while. We need to use it, folks. If it's a scam, it's a very valuable scam. Let's not miss the opportunity. Go ahead, sorry, Bob.
We are just outside of police headquarters here. This latest murder brings the total number of homicides in the city of St. Louis so far this year to 195. There were 194 in all of 2019. We can show you video from the latest murder scene. Police got the call about 9:15 last night on Utah in South City in the Benton Park West neighborhood. Investigators tell us when officers arrived, they found a 24-year-old woman shot in the head. We're told she was unconscious and not breathing. That woman was pronounced dead at the scene. Police telling me this morning that so far there are no suspects. A little earlier, around 8:40 last night, police responded to a double shooting in North St. Louis at Grand and Montgomery. In that case, authorities tell me officers heard shots fired in the area and found two people who had been shot at the scene. One was hit multiple times in the legs and the other was shot in the chest. Both were conscious and breathing. That case is being handled as a first-degree assault. Again, no word on any suspects. As those investigations unfold, the City Board of Aldermen return from summer break today to hold a virtual session. The meeting is being held by Zoom webinar because of COVID-19. Board of Aldermen President Lewis Reed is set to introduce legislation today establishing what he calls a $2 million crime victim reward fund. Reed says the money will be used as cash rewards for tips and leads, ending in the arrest of anyone who has committed a murder in the city of St. Louis. The $2 million will be transferred from the city's emergency reserves account to set up and establish this fund. Reed says once the legislation is passed and signed into law, the public will be able to access a hotline to anonymously report their tip and then access the reward.
So they got $2 million for tips, right? And still, like, you don't have, you can be anonymous, and they still had trouble finding people that wanted to come forward and give information. And a lot of these are kids that were being killed. And like, look at like oh no, that guy that's a
and when you consider that some women call the police the most, it doesn't make any sense.
$10,000.
Yeah, like this is what I'm trying to show you, is that like you can be anonymous and you can get paid, and these people still won't.
A $10,000 reward is now being offered in last month's shooting. It happened at a vigil near downtown St. Louis. It was on September 20th at 20th and St.
This ain't the video I'm looking for. I'm looking for the one with the kids. They had a bunch of kids. They had like 20 kids get killed one summer, right, in St. Louis, right? And they offered $100,000 for any information on any one of them. $100,000, and not one person gave a tip.
Do you think that's because these people that will that are well, not only that, do you think it's because these people that will kill are pretty good at finding out who ratted on them? In other words, even though you remain anonymous, I think it's just a matter of people saying, I don't trust remaining anonymous. They're just thinking, I don't
at
trust.
some point, but I think at some point in your community,
yeah,
like when like think about it, like you just talked about the civil rights movement earlier, right? Like it took a level of bravery to take that on. You know what I mean? You have to like, you know, it's just not gonna be given to you.
Well,
So
a lot of
the fight against like crime and the element in the community, where are the people that are willing to die to fight against the element in the community?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm sorry. No, I don't think the civil rights movement is entirely different from neighborhoods going down the drain to violent psychopaths. The civil rights movement was something that just dealt with the actual human spirit. This stuff is so evil and it's violent and it's vile that there's just two different motives at play when it comes to snitching on somebody or standing up for your rights in the civil rights movement. And the civil rights movement plus was protected by the same people that started it. We know that. So there was a lot of the blacks had a lot of protection going in. And so here I'm saying snitchers, people that snitch probably don't have the protection that they trust.
Breaking news right now.
I don't blame them. But you know that everybody doesn't get killed. Like it's not like
I know that.
It's kind of like random and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but it's enough.
It's not. Yeah. The threat of it is usually the thing that
it's enough.
Right now,
It's
a
like
man
gas
convicted
down
of killing an Uber driver 3 years ago is going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Thanks for joining us. I'm Erica Moke. A judge sentenced Calvin Crew to life in prison. Our Ross Gadati was inside the courtroom during that sentencing.
The judge, the prosecuting attorneys, as well as defense attorneys, members of both the family of the victim and the accused were in the courtroom this morning. Conspicuously absent convicted killer Calvin Crew. Judge E.J. Borkowski started the proceedings by telling those assembled that Crew declined to attend today's hearing and would not leave his cell at the Allegheny County Jail. Crew's defense attorney spoke on his behalf, saying that Crew fell through society's cracks and had a tough childhood, as well as being intellectually and socially challenged with an IQ.
Was he autistic?
Childhood, as well as being intellectually and socially challenged with an IQ of 84. Crew accused.
Yeah, the IQ of 84. That's fucking high though.
I was gonna say, that ain't bad.
Yeah, the IQ of 84.
Answer hypothetical questions.
Yeah, that's pretty high, man. That's not bad. Like seriously, like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like,
oh, I know it.
That's that. If he could be excused, not legally but morally, or for this what he did to this woman because of an 84 IQ, that sets a horrible precedent, man. Because now you gonna have sons walking in there with 40s and 50s and 60s. And they can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like this, man. But yeah.
The 40s are diabolical.
Well, what's remarkable is that nothing is ever mentioned that look at all the white kids whose lives suck, but they don't shoot up the streets. That's what doesn't get to sink into.
Well, the average black person thinks that
because they don't have ops
done by a white person. The average black person thinks that every school shooting is done by a white person, and every mall shooting, and every like black people don't consider their gang violence as mass shootings. They only consider when a white person goes into a. So in their mind, in the average black person's mind, I know it's kind of like mental gymnastics. When somebody shoots up something in public, it's going to be a white person.
Well, not only that, but like you say, when they hit it, they find an ops and they take out 4 other innocent people. That doesn't sink in that it's a mass shootings. When I'm talking to somebody about mass shootings, I ask them, "Do you know there were 400 and over 500 mass shootings in 2024?" And they have no idea. They're just aware of the mass shootings. That's not an accident, though. That's social engineering. That's not an accident.
So this kid right here, he's evil, man. Listen to what this kid.
Attend today's hearing and would not leave his cell at the Allegheny County Jail. Crew's defense attorney spoke on his behalf, saying that Crew fell through society's cracks and had a tough childhood, as well as being intellectually and socially challenged with an IQ of 84. Crew accused of killing Christina Spicuzza in November of 2022 in a robbery turned homicide. When it was their turn, the victim's family addressed the court to include her mother, telling Crew that the only reason he wasn't getting the death penalty was because they believed that Christina, a Christian, would not approve of it.
Wow. So they saved him from getting the death penalty, the family of the woman who got killed.
Sometimes I think whites are talked into them stupid
Hope he
positions. I
doesn't
really
escape
do.
from prison.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting the death penalty
Yeah,
was
but
because
he's not going to get killed for like 20 years if he's different. They're not going to kill him tomorrow. He's going to be a death row for 20, 25 years. But what I'm saying is, like, still, like, I'd love, like, still, like, you get the chance to know that one day he's going to, like, get that juice.
because they believed that Christina, a Christian, would not approve of it. Christina's sister, Chantel, addressed the absent Crew, saying, "We didn't lose my sister. You took her from us," calling him selfish. The most emotional testimony, however, came from Brandon Marto, Christina Spicuzza's fiance. Sobbing heavily at times, Marto credited his would-be wife for pulling him out of alcoholism and said the couple's 7-year-old daughter cried herself to sleep last night over the loss of her mother. Marto went on to call Crew a coward, saying that he hopes he rots and burns in prison. The judge also pointing out that Calvin Crew maintains his innocence and will be appealing his conviction. Downtown Roskilde.
It's a.
I wish I could say. I wish I could say he's mentally retarded, but I can't.
No, he's on the low end. He's near it. I mean, you know. Warning, distressing content.
Hi, for Tanea.
This is her.
How are you today?
And him.
She should have seen that face mask and just took it off. Come on.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, I mean,
she's a liberal.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. Like, if you operate in a, like, for instance, when I'm in Pennsylvania, I rarely see anybody with a ski mask. Right? When I go to DC, 30% of the young black dudes are walking around with ski masks on. I'm talking about full ski mask, only you can see their eyes. So sometimes in certain areas, it's so common to see them like that it desensitizes to you. It's not like you're fucking a teller at the bank and somebody, that's the only time you're going to see somebody with a ski mask on the public. In these black cities, these young boys walk around with that all the fucking time.
So you're just fucked in the first place.
So you basically not shocked to see one with that on.
No, it's injected terrorism into our society. They know what they're doing with this shit. When they set this in motion with these kids to wear these masks, they know what they did. Then they were aware of it. It's terrorism put upon the race. They're using the blacks to tear apart American culture. I don't think they're going to take us down to third world status, but yeah, they're using blacks to knock the shit out of it, to take us down a few notches for sure.
I'm sorry?
Keep driving.
You've got to be joking.
Keep driving.
What are you doing?
This is the gun. Keep driving.
No, it's not. Stop. Come on, man. I got a family. What are you
I got
doing?
a family too. Now drive.
What are you doing?
Drive.
Please stop.
Drive the car, man.
Talk about a psycho.
Why are you doing this?
Don't make this so noticeable. Just drive.
Why are you doing this?
Drive the car.
To where?
Complete the trip.
I cannot do that.
Complete the trip.
Why are you doing this?
Complete the trip.
Please.
Complete the trip.
Please
drive.
stop. Please, I'm begging you.
I'm begging
I have
you,
4
drive the
kids.
car.
What are you
Drive the
doing?
car.
In her hair.
Complete it. Now drive.
Please take that off of me. Please. No, no.
Keep driving. Do what I say and everything will be all right.
And he still killed her. She cooperated fully, and he still killed her.
Look at the inner city black schools. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them on their way up.
First at 5, cars pierced with bullets in South St. Louis, all part of a crime spree this morning in the city and county involving numerous car break-ins. When someone interrupted the thieves, bullets began to fly. And tonight, a 16-year-old suspect is dead as a result, shot by his own accomplices.
And we do have new surveillance video showing that violence as it unfolded. You can hear the gunshots there. This all happening just blocks from Carondelet Park on Vermont Avenue near Holly Hills and I-55. First Alert 4's Russell Kinsell live at 5 from police headquarters digging into this concerning crime trend. Russell.
Yeah, St. Louis police say it's possible that this group of 6 thieves breaking into cars on Vermont Avenue may have done this same thing at cities all around the metro. They're checking that to see if that's the case. But we do know this from the video that we obtained, that these thieves are armed and they could care less where they shoot or who they hit. The group of thieves were apparently startled while breaking into cars and started shooting wildly. A 16-year-old member of their group was hit.
Now just think about that. Like, they were startled and just started shooting wildly. Like that's so dangerous, right? To have those people, to have these young men on the street. And then when a cop gets behind them, chases them, and then they jump out the car and run on foot with the guns in their hands, a black father can go fucking kill a random cop and get almost 100% support from a black community. When these other kids, this is what that kid who got killed in Cincinnati the other day, this is what they do. And black people will support, will be like, well, he didn't point the gun at the cop. The cop shouldn't have shot him because he didn't point the gun at the cop.
Or they're talking about wounding him. Just wound the kid. You don't have to kill him. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, if you want to live in a criminal hellhole, then that's a great idea.
I've lived around white trash all my life. All my life. I'm not kidding you. And I guarantee you, I'm 70 years old and I've lived, and I'm talking about white trash. And I'm telling you, it was never anything but peaceful. Always peaceful. Nothing in the streets. If there was a fight on the front porch by a drunken couple, that would be the worst it is. And right now I'm living around all white people, and it's a lot of what I would call very low income whites living all around me. It's very quiet, very peaceful. So the white trash in America even act in a way that is completely honorable. That's what blacks, I think blacks hate. I don't think blacks understand just what a certain segment of their society is involved in, because I think a lot of them want to think whitey does it too. And it's amazing to me that they still hang on to that. And when in reality, and whites are the fault. A lot of whites will say whites do it too. Stupid motherfuckers. Say no, not in the same numbers, even closer.
Trailer parks and shit like that. Yeah, that whole trailer park situation.
Yeah,
whole trailer park myth and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
I live around a bunch of like poor whites and shit, and like it's literally like every single thing in the city or these surrounding cities is a Dominican, a black, or a Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
it's like 100% of the time, and there's not that many of them here. And yo, listen, this whole thing where poverty creates crime is literal horse shit.
It's the other way around.
I mean, horse shit. And the fact that they still let that thing that that fester or that that lie be used is that's one of the biggest problems, man. I think that while gliders are on this in fatigue thing, they need to attack that, man, because that's the poverty is the type of excuse that pulls at your heartstrings, because it's like, well, I mean, hey, who's gonna bang on a poor person publicly? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real hard to bang on a poor person because you're kind of like a dick. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look like, you know what I mean? Like, so like that excuse is something that blacks hold on to explain their crime, and it's very effective. You know?
Your ox sons will no doubt make fun of a poor person. But
Well,
I know what you mean.
Sons, sons, yeah.
Our gliders, yeah, we hold them to a higher expectation.
First of all, we need to do away with the thought that there's real poverty in the USA. I don't care about the tent cities where the drug addicts are and the stupid people who ruin their homes. I'm saying our poor people get food, heat, housing, running water, air conditioning. There's no crime causing poverty in the USA. And what little low income stresses there are, nobody wants to think about all the white people that are experiencing the same thing, but they're not in the streets shooting up the streets. Nothing sinks in with black people. It's like they're completely oblivious to all what you could call science, social science.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is that even if you're a black person, like who doesn't agree with it, and you're not like a YouTuber, like take the YouTubers aside, right? Just a regular black person who might, be against the monolithic thought, the penalty for coming out and saying that is social suicide, basically. So it's like a typical black person in life, not on the internet, not talking about fucking internet chaotic and shit like that, will be. But the black person in real life, like for instance, do you really meet black people like me and chaotic in real life? Brave.
Oh, I think I've met. I have been fortunate. I've met more people like you and chaotic than I have the other, and because I've worked in like factories, and some of the most finest, upstanding, productive people were black. And they had no use.
I'm not talking about fine or productive. I'm talking
they did. They had no use for black people. Yeah, they had no use.
We're not talking about the good ones.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the good ones. I'm talking about people who literally understand that, like, blacks are the in the country.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. You're few and far between, but I still think there's a lot of blacks that are hush mouth that understand what you guys understand. They don't say anything though. My question is how long does this go on before the 70% of the black Americans drag the 30% down with them? How long will it be until the 30% say enough's enough? We really have to separate somehow. The good blacks have to separate somehow. I don't see that happening. You are correct. I don't see that.
It ain't 30%. It ain't 30%.
What do you think?
30%. I think most black people
we just talked about
woke.
why that's not gonna happen.
Most black people are woke, so like the wokeness is think about it. When you it's so many things at play. Like these kids that are out here doing this shit that in this video, their parents are supposed to now vote for Proposition XYZ or Amendment 244 that makes fucking stiffer penalties for breaking into cars. Is that what we're supposed to happen? These kids' parents?
Yeah. Oh, I'm very sorry for not using the proper words, sun and gliders. I'm so sorry if that's causing any headaches.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm very sorry. I'm sorry for that.
That's all right. That's all right. It ain't no big deal. But
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are these kids' parents supposed to be tough on crime when it's going to lead to their kids going to fucking prison? or should they vote for the fucking prosecutor that's slapping people on the wrist and the mayor that's proposing, diversionary shit and for offenders and shit? Or should they vote for like some kind of mean ass prosecutor and some fucking tough on crime person? These kids' parents, who are literally the black community, most of the black community are these kids' parents.
Yep.
I agree. I don't know. I think 30%. I think 30% isn't that far off, Hawk. I think 30%.
No, that's not 30%.
I think 30% of black people.
Talking to black dudes though, man, it's not.
Yeah, in real life, I don't know anybody like us.
Yeah,
well, no, I'm not saying they're as intense as you guys. I'm not saying that. I'm saying 30% of black people just really don't want anything to do with the 70% of the others. And I know they're not outspoken, but
you know what I'm talking about though? The people you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
They moved to your white town, right?
I'm sorry, what was that, Ak?
The people the blacks you're talking about,
yeah.
Let's just say they would move to your town, right?
That would worry me.
Family. Right, but here's the thing.
To be sure.
They went to a restaurant, right? And they walked into a restaurant the same time as a white family. And then the hostess went and sat both families at the table, like seconds apart, right?
Uh-huh.
When that waiter comes from the back, if that waiter goes to that white family, they're gonna be on fucking Twitter calling this town racist, man. This town racist.
This is Sundown Town.
Be Braveville, man. I went to the restaurant, man, and they served the white family before us and shit. Little shit like that. And then
my fries was cold.
Like that. And then more shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
I think there's 30% of blacks that would sit at that table and understand that the whites just got served first. I think it's 30%. You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
Even the blacks that don't want to live around other blacks and the ones that understand the criminality, they still watch CNN. They still watch MSNBC. It only takes one thing to trigger them.
Yeah,
I have them in my family.
They're gonna come to your little town, and you'll be like, "They're the good ones," and the good ones are gonna cause you a fucking shit problem.
I know. Oh yeah, that's why I say I don't even. If somebody says, "Well, what if a doctor moved next door to you?" I say, "I don't want a doctor because I don't want to." It's a chance his sister's going to move in with him with 2 kids that'll kill you for telling them to turn down their music. That's what I always said. What pisses me off about the relations is, and I've used your name before, Ak. I said, if Ak moved next to me and I didn't know him, I'd be worried. That's what pisses me off. A good guy like Ak moves next to you.
Better be. I have homicidal thoughts all the time.
No, I ain't worried about you. I'm saying what follows you. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm saying I have every reason. It's very justifiable for me to be concerned.
I'm telling you, I'm a Sun man. I grew up around all Sun people.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to think about killing people all the time. When you're around Sun people, you constantly have to have murder on your mind. You know what I'm saying? I've been listening to fucking hardcore hip hop since I was like fucking 7 years old. Listen. It's like, here's the thing, right? Like, for instance, if you take 2 sons, right? Let's just say two Sun families move to your town, right? Your all white town, right? One on the north side and one on the south side, right? If there was a murder in your town, it would 90% be if those 2 families come into contact.
Well, yeah, but that I don't know.
I'm serious, man. No, I'm serious because
I know, I agree.
When they interact, the way we relate to each other is on such a primal level that, like, a lot of white people, y'all understand, we don't even relate to y'all the same way we relate to each other. We're worse on each other. We're far worse on each other. So when I say, like, when you try to tell me, like, oh no, I wouldn't have. Listen, the typical Sun man,
nice to gliders.
This typical Sun man has been through a lot of unnecessary beef and conflict, and the conflict is always has very high stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I can name 30 people who've been murdered, first and last name, right? Just from going to school. Because you know when you're in school, they get a roll and you know everybody's first and last name. How many? And I'm not deep in the streets. I'm not like fucking, you know what I'm saying, moving keys. It wasn't moving keys or nothing like that. The average son person who's went to public school and is, let's say, 30 years old, and name you 50 people that have been homicide, that have been murdered. And I'm not talking about poison. So when you have those people come to a town where it's a bunch of people who collectively, as an entire town, might know 5 people that have been, I'm talking about gunned down in the street, right? There's a difference there. There's a difference. You can't just blow that off, man.
Oh, I'm not blowing it off, but I'm still saying I'm hanging on to. There's a good number of blacks that I think would make good neighbors. Sorry, I'm hanging on to that. Maybe 30% is a little too high.
Make good neighbors. When I said make good neighbors, that wasn't the thing I'm saying. I didn't say make good
neighbors.
I
know. Well, you're
talking
saying
about like I'm talking about like you call me a nigger or something.
Yeah,
I'll fucking kill your ass.
Nah.
If you call me a nigger, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, that somebody like me. Somebody like me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or me, like, you know what I'm saying? Fucking kill you, and you'll be like, nah, you'll be in heaven talking about some, nah, no way. You'll be in fucking heaven saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying, all I'm saying is that like, you tell me to turn my music down in a way where I don't like it, and you know what I'm saying? It becomes an argument. Now we're arguing. Now we're not talking about the music no more. We're arguing about your tone. I'll fucking kill you over your tone. And the people will say, well, it was over music. It was over. No, it was over the fucking way you said that shit. Watch who the fuck you talking to. But that son, man, will be a great guy. But he's just from a different world.
Well, I understand that, but I still think that in the final analysis, listen, in the final analysis,
right,
the son man that's got brains is going to...
Let me do a poll. Hold on. Let me do a poll. Press 1 if you think Be Brave understands that. Press 2 if you don't think he understands that. 1 if you think he understands that. 2 if you think he doesn't understand it.
See what we got.
You're right. If 2 sons move into a gladder neighborhood,
putting a poll on him.
There's already some form of tension. It's like, how did he move in here? And then
exactly.
say
No, don't
me
get
and
me
you
wrong.
move in.
I think if a son moves into a white neighborhood, they need to check in. They're obligated to check in, considering what the damage sons are doing to our culture. I think if you move into an all-white area like mine, you need to check in. So don't get me wrong. I'm not going light. I'm just saying in the final push, I can't help it. I know what you're saying, Ak. I do. And I get it. And it's not even complicated. But I'm just saying I'm going to give it credit to a whole lot of blacks for understanding that even if they're a little bit hot-headed.
Let me break it down to you even further.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the biggest deterrent to murdering somebody in broad daylight?
Prison.
Thank you. Let me tell you this, man. Of my friend group, like the dudes that I hung with before I got married, I've been to jail, but I'm the only one that hasn't been to prison. And these are regular guys, dudes that work at Home Depot, dudes that work at warehouses, some hustle, some hang on the block, some, just ain't really got nothing going on, some married. All of them been to prison. So you got to understand, when you have a black population moving to your city, you got a lot of people who've been to prison before. So the whole, oh shit, I don't know what prison's gonna be like. Am I gonna get raped? Oh shit, I can't do this because if I do this, if I cheat on my taxes, I might go to prison. No, all these people fucking shoot you in broad daylight. They don't give a fuck. They already been to prison before. It don't care.
Oh, I understand that. That's why I said I don't want a doctor to move into my neighborhood, because I understand what's very close to them in their
I'm
attitude.
just talking about differences. I'm not saying that these people might not be bad people.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you call it the difference,
knock down a 6-pack with them. You can probably knock down a 6-pack with them, and everything be cool. You can probably every Friday you could get together with that motherfucker and knock down a 6-pack, and everything will be cool. But what I'm saying is, if certain shit go a certain way and certain circumstances happen and certain triggers get pulled, that motherfucker will kill your ass in broad daylight and go do 30 years in prison.
okay,
And
so what percent do you think really have the level-headedness to where they don't fit into what you're speaking about? What are you saying? It's only 5% of blacks?
Just don't go to the cookout.
What I'm saying is a lot have the level-headedness to do that. But what I'm saying is that it don't take 100% of the population to be like that.
Oh, I know it.
What's the critical mass of
Takes
people
10.
you think that be psychopaths to make your city dangerous?
Oh, I agree with you. Once it starts hitting 10%, I think any city has problems.
I'm not talking about black population. I'm talking about people that will shoot you in broad daylight.
Well, a very small percent. It doesn't take much to bring down.
If you got 1,000 dudes in your city that'll shoot you in broad daylight, you got a fucking problem. Even if you got 100,000 people in your city, even if you got 200,000 people in your city.
I agree. You got to remember, I'm talking about small farm communities. 10,000 white people, 8,000, 16,000.
Okay, and what if you move in 30 people that'll shoot your ass at the gas station?
Yeah, that's not good.
Stand over
that's
you and
bad.
empty the clip in your face.
I would go with you. I would say if you move in 4 blacks, 3 of them are going to be fucking crazy. So I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that, that's what I'm saying. I don't want any blacks because I don't want to chance it. That's why I'm saying I don't want to chance it.
Only reason I'm saying that to you is because you kind of you know a lot, but you got to know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
I agree with a lot of what you said, but you got to know what you don't know, because you could be like I'm the glider that knows how these black people are.
No.
And don't.
No,
I tested you, and you was like, you're not the glider that knows how black people are.
Oh, I don't think I am.
Your mind thinks
differently. I don't think that. I listen to you and to CT and to Johns. I listen to that very carefully. I do not think I know the ins and outs of the sun mentality, but what I do know is human behavior, and I'm pretty good at that. And I'm saying this: killers are killers, and decent people are decent people. And I'm saying that I'm still saying that there's a good number of black people, if they move into your neighborhood, even if you get in a fuss and fight with them, you've got no problems. But I'm with you also, Octon, saying it's such a risk that I don't want to chance it. That's why I said earlier, it's just I don't want any blacks, because I understand what you're saying. I don't want to chance it because it so easily flips bad. I just don't want to chance it. So I understand what you're saying. I'm just giving
all they
blacks
have to do is host a cookout.
What's that?
All they have to do is host a party on your block, and it's a wrap.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I don't want no part of them. I'm not one of those gliders. I'm not one of those. I don't want any part of them.
Yeah, man, great show, man. Great having you up here, man. Salute to you, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace out.
Woo!
Thanks, Doc.